101 Watson Road, 1 mile east of 270 and 44 at southernarmory.com. That's southernarmory.com.
Radio.com is now Odyssey. Download the Odyssey app to listen to 97.1 FM Talk and find content that moves you. The Odyssey app for 97.1 FM Talk on the go. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by the Loading Dock, with a unique and beautiful ice skating rink to enjoy this time of year. Go to GraftonLoadingDock.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not a married sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not married sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Well, welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. So glad to be with you. Yes, Annie here, back in studio after quite a break. Took Thanksgiving time off with my family, and yesterday extended that one day because we laid to rest my great aunt, who was 101 and a half years old. And I would say that's a life to be thankful for. I got to say, listening to the pastor's sermon at the funeral, it was very interesting to me to hear the life that this woman led, man. And I think she was born in 1920, or yeah, she was born in the 20s, folks. There are people now being born in the 20s. My daughter is born in the 20s. That's just crazy. And thinking about 101 years lived, I just think that's something incredibly amazing to be thankful for. So thank you for offering me your patience while I took an extra day off. But I am glad to be back. And if you are not somebody who normally tunes into the webcam, I'm going to invite you to tune in right now. You can go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Just type in Annie Frey on YouTube and you'll see our channel there, and you'll see that we're live. Make sure you subscribe while we're there. We're also streaming live on the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. But I've got something on today I'm very excited about, and I'm going to show you a little something right here. So if I do this, you see that? Look at that. You just have to tune in to see it because it's pretty stinking amazing. It is the holiday season, and I'm very glad to be here with you to celebrate it. And when I look, I think we all have these things. Brad, I don't know what this is for you. Maybe it's started to implement its way into your life as well. But we have a folder on a Google Drive system for every day. And that folder lives in a month folder. And every time I create the new month folder, or the new month folder gets created and I click on it for the first time, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like we need a December folder now.
Yeah, we've got a December folder now.
It's pretty, well, the point is that December is here.
It's crazy.
It's pretty crazy to know that time is moving this fast. And in the meantime, we've got all of these stories. I was watching Outnumbered. I always watch Outnumbered leading into the show. I think that it's a really good show. I don't know if it's for everybody, but it is for me, and I enjoy it. And just listening to story after story after story, I'm thinking, I want to report on all of these. Just replay Outnumbered for an hour. Can I do that? Probably not. Probably won't get away with that. Here's the other thing that I've been thinking about. Again, I always talk about being a civilian when I take an extended break over, holiday season or the summer for a vacation. Can you guys believe that Joe Biden is the president? Like, I'm watching time move on, and I'm watching these stories, and every once in a while they sprinkle in a little bit of President Biden speaking on an issue, and it's like, he's your guy? That's what we picked? All right. Let's see how he continues to do. It's a disaster. It's not just a disaster in policy, because I worry that if he were of the Barack Obama caliber of communicator and politician at this point in his life, we would be in a bigger heap of trouble. Because this is the thing. First of all, their policies suck. And you know that, and I know that. And if you're listening and you completely disagree with me on that, then I apologize for saying the word suck. But I think they suck. If they were able, they are the worst salesmen for their own policies. They are the worst marketers for their, I mean, we all live in a business or work in business, even if you are somebody who, stays at home, takes care of the kids or takes care of the home or whatever it is, maybe you're retired, you still know that in order to be effective at anything, you got to kind of sell it. You've got to market it to people. They are the worst at marketing their own product, at selling their own product. You know why? Because they trust that you are stupid enough to just trust them with all of the power, with all of the things, that you're just going to go, well, they're the government and they know what they're doing. They're the president. It's ridiculous. The things that Jen Psaki says on a regular basis make any person with two brain cells to rub together go, what? That's ridiculous. I mean, some of it is laughable. Some of it is infuriating, but it's all dumb. It's all stupid. And they need you to be dumb in order to go, yeah, that's right. That's absolutely it. Listen, as Jen Psaki explains to you, she's trying to sell this to you. Well, the truth is that she's not trying to sell it to you. She just thinks that if you don't agree with her, then you're stupid. Joe Biden said in 2019 that Donald Trump was a racist for putting in a ban on travel from African countries. And then Joe Biden put in a ban on travel from African countries for COVID for the same reason. But it's different because Trump is Trump.
Thank you, Jen. Before Joe Biden was president, he said that COVID travel restrictions on foreign countries were hysterical xenophobia and fear-mongering. So what changed?
Well, I would say first, to put it in full context, Peter, what the president was critical of was the way that the former president put out, I believe, a xenophobic tweet and how he called what he called the coronavirus and who he directed it at. The president has not been critical of travel restrictions. We have put those in place ourselves. We put them in place ourselves in the spring. But no, he does not believe. He believes we should follow the advice of health and medical experts. That's exactly what he did in putting in place these restrictions over the weekend.
It's ridiculous to think that what Jen Psaki is trying to sell you that you're going to buy. Even if you agree, maybe you think, maybe it's your worldview that Donald Trump is a racist person. I don't think he is. And I've done a lot of airtime on why I think that's completely wrong. You can podcast the show. I don't know where it is. Probably somewhere pre-November 2020. If you listen to Jen Psaki explain things, really what she's saying is, but it's Donald Trump. I don't care Joe Biden is not a racist, but it's Donald Trump. You know what Donald Trump is. Don't we all agree that Donald Trump is the scum of the earth, the worst person to walk the face of the planet? We all agree on that, right? No. Actually, we don't. And depending on who you ask and who you trust, it is important to understand that Donald Trump, what did he get, like 10 million more votes in 2020 than he did in 2016? It was a massive increase. I think it was, he got the most votes of any president ever, save current President Biden. Does that mean something? We hear about 80 million votes all the time. For as much as we're all supposed to agree that Donald Trump is the scourge of everything that we've ever experienced in our entire lives, as much as we're supposed to understand that, Donald Trump increased his support from 2016 when people actually got to know him and see what he was capable of doing. The only reason why his support would go up, well, there's two reasons. Because his policies worked. Where were you at this time in 2019? Doing pretty well. It was when I was just completely ignorantly saying, what could possibly happen to make Donald Trump not win the election? Oh, a global pandemic. Didn't have that on my bingo card. The likes of Jen Psaki and the punditry that is littered about on mainstream media and on your social media feeds, on the new. Did you guys talk about Twitter yesterday? Jack Dorsey stepping down?
No, we didn't really talk about that too much.
St. Louis and Jack Dorsey handed over the reins to Twitter. I'll read to you some of the things that Jack Dorsey's new replacement has said and tweeted. Dude, scrub your Twitter before you take a big job. It's basic stuff. You're actually in charge of Twitter now. Like, why? You know why? Because they don't have to be careful. They don't have to be careful because the wolves aren't out to get them. The wolves are always out to get you. I was thinking about this on the way to work today. And the worst thing you can be, according to the loudest voices in the United States of America, the worst thing you can be is an outspoken conservative. It's not the worst thing you can be is conservative. The worst thing you can be is an outspoken conservative. And you know why there's a big difference? A huge difference there is because if you're not outspoken, then it makes it seem like, can you believe that person believes X, Y, and Z and that they're conservative? Can you believe that they're willing to say that out loud? Like, that is so 1952. That's what they're saying because they don't want people to talk about it. The less people talk about it, the more often people, especially young people who are being ushered into the real world and slapped in the face from the left and the right about the realities of money, earning, income, saving, potential retirement, Social Security, that joke. These people, these young people, don't know people who are outspoken conservatives because if you're young and conservative, you're really not going to be comfortable speaking out in the open. Everywhere you go, everywhere you look, you are told that if you have those conservative ideals, God forbid, pun intended, that they're based on some sort of religious moral structure. You are so outdated if you have those beliefs. Well, that's only the case if people aren't speaking out on it. That's only the case if people don't know that you're conservative. I mean, like I bet that you have had somebody in your life who discovered that you have conservative beliefs. You might not even consider yourself like a full-blown conservative. You might not be a Trump person. But it might be the case that maybe you've had an opinion on vaccines. Maybe you've had an opinion on public education, the public education system and the direction it's going. Maybe you've had an opinion on supporting law enforcement. Maybe you've had an opinion on, generally speaking, our healthcare system and how the bigger and broader responsibility that the government takes out of that chunk, the worse it's going to get for you. Because maybe you're a nurse and you don't care about politics at all. But you've seen it. You've been behind the front lines. You know how the system operates. Maybe one of those things fits into who you are. Maybe one time you suggested that you have a belief that's a little more conservative than it is liberal, and you got busted for it. You got blown up for it. And you're like, I am never doing that again. Well, guess what? The person who's nursing in the room next to you, the person who is teaching in the classroom next to you, the person who is on the job site. Let's talk about union labor out there. How many of you in union labor? I know you're out there because you talk to me. You send me messages, especially when Donald Trump was, starting up the furnaces or whatever it is at U.S. Steel in Granite City. You guys liked him because he put you back to work. But we're all afraid to talk about it. The worst thing you can be, according to the loudest voices in every room, is an outspoken conservative. But we're everywhere. People just like you who are not necessarily steeped in politics, who don't really care about who Chuck Schumer is and who Mitch McConnell is. And you look at them and you're like, those are the people who are in charge. Oh, and then you pan over to the House of Representatives and you're like, Nancy Pelosi, really? And you might see the likes of AOC and Lauren Boebert and go, really? I don't identify with any of these people. Some of you do, but a lot of you don't because it's just noise to you. What you see is higher prices at the gas pump, higher prices at the grocery store. You see that you can't get the supplies that you need or the things that you normally purchase. And you see your taxes going up. What are you getting for it? You see that the government is now making major medical decisions for you and controlling your livelihood because of it. And you go, I just don't really feel very American in this version of what America is. The only way that we turn everything upside down is just by saying, yeah, I'm not really for that. It can be that simple. You don't have to have a podium. You don't have to have a soapbox. You don't have to raise your voice. You don't have to convince anybody. That's the key, folks. It's not about changing everybody else's minds. It's just about speaking your own. And when we feel more comfortable doing that, more people who are intimidated and afraid to speak up will go, I didn't know there were so many of us. And then things will start changing. And they have to change in 2022. We don't have a choice. AG Schmitt's the Missouri Attorney General. He continues to over and over and over again push out against these vaccine mandates, among other things that are coming out of the Biden administration. He's going to be on with us in just a minute. And I'm super excited to talk to him about his so far successful lawsuit against the Biden administration's vaccine mandate to healthcare workers. Why does he feel that he's the one who needs to shoulder this? Is it because he's the attorney general of a red state? Because if you're like me and you live in a blue state, you got no hope in this regard. How is what he's doing leading the country and pushing back legally and lawfully against these mandates making a change? Well, we're going to ask him that when we come back. And I'm also going to thank him personally from a blue stater, just that there are people out here that are pushing back using the legal system to make a difference. AG Schmitt, when we come back, don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
How many times?
Nobody else is reporting what we are. So if you want to make sure you're not missing the most important stuff, follow 97.1 on Facebook or Twitter. If you're lucky, they'll let you see a good 25% of it.
2021 has been an unprecedented year for cyber attacks, ransomware, and business email compromise. Protect your business's people, data, and reputation. Go to cyberevents.com and register now for State of Cyber 2021 at the Hyatt Regency St. Louis. Join senior officials from the FBI, Secret Service, and Homeland Security, along with the area's biggest business leaders, December 1st and 2nd for the State of Cyber 2021 conference presented by Data Connectors. Registration is free, but space is limited. Go to cyberevents.com.
Stewart's American Mortgage, the big loan guy. Call Stewie and ask him how he can help you. While rates are low and your equity is high, take advantage of this really, really important time. It could change. I don't know anything about when it'll change, but I do know that we have a lot of uncertainty ahead of us. So you know what you know now. And I'm going to tell you what, when you go use a bagel loan with Stewart's American Mortgage, you can do that refinance with him. You can do a cash out refinance, take advantage of that high equity. Or if you're looking to purchase a home, go with Stewart's American Mortgage. He can offer you like a 15-day close. That makes you a more competitive buyer. Plus, using the bagel loan in any of those situations, you don't have to pay a bunch of fees that other lenders are going to charge you for. This could save you 4 figures of dollars, also making you a more competitive buyer. Reach out to Stewie at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. And ask him about how the bagel loan can help you in your unique situation today. Stewart'sAMC.com online, right there. Go visit him on his website, NMLS number 226715.
Want to make this the most unforgettable Christmas? Diamonds Direct is here to help with our most dazzling selection ever and 4 years zero interest financing. Diamonds Direct showcases are fully stocked with the classics, as well as the latest trendy fashion jewelry from world-class designers. You'll get the unbeatable value price Diamonds Direct is known for. Plus, spread your payments over 4 years, 48 whole months with zero interest. Get holiday store hours, directions, finance details, and see our online gift guide at diamondsdirect.com. On approved credit.
Selling your home's a huge deal. You want to sell it fast and for the highest price with zero hassles, right? Mark Cox here. That's why I always recommend Gloria Liu with GL International Realty and the Coldwell Banker Premier Group. Gloria continues to change the real estate game with multiple cash offers for her sellers. Above market bids with multiple cash offers in less than 24 hours, and she makes the process so easy. Gloria eliminates the hassles with no showings while you pick the closing date. Check this out. Andrew wrote, Gloria sold my home quickly, above market value, to an all-cash buyer, no hassles, delays, or problems. With Gloria Liu, 2 things are always guaranteed: your home sale and your price. Call Gloria today and get your cash offer at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
This station is now conducting a test of the emergency alert system.
After 36 years, Ambassador has floored over 15,000 homes for St. Louis's top home builders.
Midwest has floored St. Louis homes and businesses for over 82 years.
Together, Ambassador Midwest Floor offers you more experience with over 100 master craftsman installers.
Refresh your home. Choose Ambassador Midwest Floor.
See the largest selection of Mohawk, Karastan, and other name brands.
And save $500 off select Mohawk and Karastan floor styles.
Get the finest installation and experience more at Ambassador
Midwest Floor.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
You can run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Go tell that long-tongued liar.
But I think people have had enough of the government locking people down. They've had enough of the government instituting mask mandates. They've had enough of the government instituting vaccine requirements. And so every time there's an overreach, we're going to push back. And I think today's evidence that we're going to win those fights because thankfully we live in a country where the law still matters and the Constitution still matters.
The Constitution still matters. Well, boy, is that refreshing to hear. Let's get straight to our guest, AG Schmitt, who is the Attorney General for the state of Missouri. Welcome back to the show, Erica. Seems like you keep throwing them up and hitting them out of the park. And we are very glad to talk to you about this latest victory in your pursuit to push against these vaccine mandates.
Well, it was good. It was good to roll in with some Johnny Cash, too. I appreciate that. It was a big win. It was a big win yesterday. We were the first state to file. We led a 10-state coalition on the healthcare worker vaccine mandate, and we won. And it's a win for healthcare workers, and it's a win for liberty. It's a win for the Constitution. We've talked about this on your show before. There is no authority at all anywhere in the Constitution or any federal statute that gives the federal government the ability to require the vaccination of, in the private employer context, 100 million Americans. In the federal contractor context, 25% of the workforce. Or here, millions and millions of healthcare workers that just a year ago we were lauding, rightfully so, as healthcare heroes, and now they're being threatened, to be on the unemployment line. So it's a big win, and there's 3 of these big cases moving, but that was the first in the country of its kind.
Yeah, I heard someone say the only thing that's going to save this country is these red states who have people like yourself who are pushing against this, living in a blue state, myself in Illinois. Illinois is often not mentioned when we talk about blue states. They always talk about the East Coast and the left coast and, how they have super regulatory, like they take it further than the Biden administration is taking it. How are you and these other red state attorney generals, these other red state representatives and officials going to bring this country back to some semblance of sanity?
Well, I think the first thing to do is to exercise what the founders knew was a very important power, which is our system of federalism, which is these states. If you think about it, the states came together, and this doesn't get taught in civics class, I don't feel like anymore, but if there is a civics class, but the states came together and agreed unanimously, here are the powers that we're going to give the federal government. We're a confederation of these states, right? We're a federal system where the states gave the federal government limited powers. And so when the federal government goes outside of what those limited powers are prescribed or enumerated in the Constitution, it is up to the states to say, wait a minute, this is not your domain. You do not have the authority to do it. And I'm proud that Missouri is literally in the front of the pack. I mean, states like Texas and others are doing their thing too. But Missouri, there's no other state that's been more active in what I call this liberty lane, this freedom lane of protecting people's individual rights. It's America's great legacy. Most people don't believe in that, even in the world today, certainly not in 1776. And you see it now. You see how easy it is for some of these countries to impose lockdowns and vaccine passports. And we have to fight back against all of that stuff because it is antithetical to who we are. So we're going to keep fighting back. It was in that clip. Whenever he steps across that line, we're pushing back. So when he, broke the law on the Remain in Mexico policy, we filed a lawsuit, took that all the way to the Supreme Court, and won. When they imposed these vaccine mandates, there's no authority for that. We filed a lawsuit and we won. So I think people want those kinds of fighters right now. It's a very important charge in the office. It's also the first time, if you want a little like Missouri history, the first time, at least in modern history, where we have a Republican legislature and a Republican attorney general, where you have a Democrat administration in Washington, D.C. And so Missouri is playing a different role maybe than we had before. We had Democrat AGs for a generation before Josh Hawley and then myself. And so it drives the left nuts, by the way, that I'm unapologetic about it. It doesn't matter how many, editorials the Post-Dispatch or the Kansas City Star write. It doesn't matter. People don't read it anyway. But we're fighting for our way of life, and I'm never going to apologize for that.
So let's talk. We're speaking with the Attorney General of the state of Missouri, AG Schmitt, with us right now. What is the current status? What do healthcare workers in the state of Missouri need to know right now about the vaccine mandate and how it applies to them?
So there is right now, it's been halted. In our preliminary reading of it, at least in the 10 states that's filed suit. There's a bunch of other states that have filed in other states. And they're likely to have similar outcomes if it's not, a nationwide injunction. But ultimately, I think this case makes its way to the Supreme Court pretty quickly. We anticipate DOJ to appeal. But the punchline is, right now in Missouri, there is no federal mandate for healthcare workers to get the vaccine. It doesn't exist. And so for all that pressure they're trying to put on employers and have been for a while, there's finally pushback to say it doesn't exist. There's no fines coming. It's something that I think people talk to their employers and say, look, I've got an objection to this. I don't want to do it. I don't want to see our company go this direction. Those companies, those hospitals have no requirement now to do it. And here's why it's really important. In rural Missouri, these small hospitals and clinics and FQHCs and nursing homes are going to close. They were going to close. They were going to lose enough of their workforce, which are already short-staffed anyway, that they would be closing. You talk about it's already more difficult to get health care in rural America and in rural Missouri. They were going to close. And we cited all of that in our complaint. We cited all of that in our request for an injunction. The judge ruled and cited those, that as evidence that this is really destructive. It's a destructive policy. Not only is it unconstitutional, it's not justified in any way.
So let me ask you this. When the Biden administration comes out with a mandate such as this, or the one, any business, public or private, doesn't really matter, over 100 employees, must require vaccinations or whatever the rule is. Just are they talking about the constitutionality of what they're employing, or are they just throwing everything? It seems like they're throwing it at the wall to see what sticks. And if people like yourself, AG Schmitt, don't step in the way of that, they're getting away with it. They certainly are in the blue states around the country.
That's exactly right. No, that's what they're doing. They know. It's like when Joe Biden was talking about the CDC having a rent moratorium. Like, they knew that there was no ability to do that. They lost the Supreme Court, and on this one in particular, it's particularly egregious because I think they announced it, right, and then waited 2 months for the emergency order, all in an attempt to try to pressure businesses and hospitals to do it before they ever issued the emergency order. And by the way, that's in the judge's ruling yesterday, which is, this isn't an emergency. If you're waiting 2 months and there's a 2-month lag, that doesn't. And so it's all phony. It's all about moving the goalposts. It's all about power. It's all about control. They don't want to let it go. There's always going to be a variant. COVID is with us, and you already see what's happening in that right now with this winter surge that even Sam Page in St. Louis County was talking about. They're using this as a pretext to be able to stand at that podium every Monday morning and tell people how to live their lives. And I got news for them. I'm not going away. I'm going to keep fighting back. We're going to keep winning. But more importantly, the people of the state, the people of this country have had enough of this. They're tired of it. They want their country back. And they're tired of these COVID tyrants trying to dictate to them what they're supposed to do with their lives every day.
You brought up Sam Page in St. Louis County, and it just makes me think that, I look at individuals like himself or like J.B. Pritzker in Illinois, or what we're seeing with the governor, the new governor in the state of New York, saying, you're not going to do elective medical procedures anymore. I mean, I've never seen more Democrats want to put themselves between you and your doctor than we are seeing right now, which is just incredibly ironic, I might add.
Well,
is there...
the veil, listen, the veil has, if there's anything that COVID has brought to us and the American people, and Virginia, by the way, was a good temperature check of how people really feel about this stuff, the veil has come down. They're totally exposed now for what the ideology of the left is really about. It is about creating discord. It is about dividing, and it is about creating fear, and then the government can be your savior. You know, the government can't love you. We know that families are important. Communities are important. The rule of law is important. But what they want people to believe is that government can fix every problem for them. And it's failed over and over and over and over again. The pandemic and their response has been, more evidence of that. Lockdowns don't work. These mask mandates are a joke. They don't work. But they keep saying it, and they keep hiding behind, health and safety because, a certain segment of the population will go along with that. But I think enough people now are waking up and say, we're not doing this. This is America, and we're not going to listen to this stuff anymore.
Yeah, it's about growing government and retaining power. It really is, because it's not about science. If it were about science, that's all they'd be talking about, but they don't. It's
right.
It's maddening. Well, thank you personally from me and from the Annie Frey Show audience as well for continuing to push back. I like hearing you say that you're going to continue to keep your foot pedal to the metal right now because somebody needs to do it. And the attorneys general across the country who are pushing back on this are going to be the lifeblood of freedom moving into 2022. And we have high hopes for that year as well. Eric Schmitt, thank you so much. It's great to have you here again.
Thanks, Annie. Take care.
Yep, you as well. Talk to you soon. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmitt on with us at Eric_Schmitt on Twitter, schmittforsenate.com. If you want to learn more about him, seriously am personally and professionally very grateful for people like him. We've had Paxton on. Isn't that the Attorney General from Texas? We've had him on before talking about the same thing. Eric has said before that he and Paxton go back and forth as to who's going to freedom harder or something like that. And I'm like, you just keep having that fight. We all benefit when you try to one-up each other on the restoring and instilling, once again, freedom and liberty in the United States of America, if not just specifically Missouri and Texas. It gives us all a potential place to go if we need to flee the burdens of a blue state. All right, we're going to take a quick break. It's Tuesday. Do you know what today is? It's Giving Tuesday. If you haven't spent all of your money, and I know that you haven't, do you have $1 to give? I am going to tell you where I encourage you to support when we come back with Vitae Foundation. We're going to talk a little bit about Vitae, which is a partner of this show, one of my favorite people to partner with, Vitae Foundation, for your Giving Tuesday donation, if you would consider it. In a minute. Don't go away.
God's gonna cut them down. You can run
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Mark, you have 3 Marks in a row.
I do. Mark Walters, Mark Meadows, and Mark Harder. And then Mark Cox. The only show with 4 Marks today, right here on 971 FM Talk. Then you get Mark Reardon this afternoon.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9.
So Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com. So it's super simple for you to remember how to get there. igotfloored.com. Your flooring purchase, especially if it's this holiday season, you're doing a lot of shopping. You're trying to acquire all the things so you can give away all the things, which is fantastic. It's a fun time of the year. I love it. If you're looking for something for yourself, if you're looking to revive your home, or maybe it's your place of business, go to Michael's Flooring Outlet to see the different flooring options that they have, because what they have for you, the quality of the products, the scope of the products, but also the expertise of the customer service sales representatives that they have there, you can't be beat. They even don't care if you go to other places, because usually when you go to other places, it makes them look better, because when you come to Michael's Flooring Outlet, you go, we should have come here in the first place. But if you're like me, you're skeptical and you want to check everything out and you waste all your time. I can save you time this holiday season by telling you to go to Michael's Flooring Outlet for your purchase, whether it's hardwood, vinyl, tile, looking for that Mohawk Smart Strand carpet. It's all there for you online at igotfloored.com.
It was very important to feel like a company
valued me and my family's time, specifically helping get the timeshare company off of our backs.
Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, and all the ways you can. I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. I first heard that John Wesley quote when I was 11 years old in Sunday school. I even have his words displayed at all of our offices to give our employees the same purpose I have when fighting to get clients out of a fraudulent timeshare.
If you were not satisfied with other companies, look directly to Wesley Financial and they will help you.
I promise we'll do all the good we can every single day. That's why I guarantee we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-646-5959. 800-646-5959. 800-646-5959.
Hurry in to get the camper of your dreams before it's gone. At Coleman's Campers, our knowledgeable staff will be happy to help you find the right camper. If we don't have the camper you want, we'll gladly order your dream camper for you. Coleman's Campers in Hartford, Illinois, where customers become friends.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com, 314-946-9999, 946, all nines. If you just inherited a property and you're not sure what you're going to do with it and you want an as-is sale, please reach out to us today. Especially with probate cases, we do a lot of work with the probate courts and we're very familiar with the confusing process. So if you have a house that you want to sell fast, maybe something that you just inherited, please reach out. Phone number is 314-946, all nines, ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN, 946-9999.
Hi, this is Curtis Barks. I'm the owner of Complete Auto Body and Repair, here to tell you about our touchless automotive service. If you experience the constant struggles of having the kids home from school or just want more of that family time where you can listen to them teach you about what they do every day, we provide touchless automotive service, return the vehicle to you clean and ready to go in the comfort of your own home. Check us out online at CompleteAB.com for more information. If it's not perfect, it's not complete. Others can't compete with Complete Auto Body.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixes cars.
It's here, the Menards Black Friday sale. Hurry in for best selection. Prices good through December 5th. Power all of your devices with a 30-pack of double or AAA AC Delco batteries. They're just $398. After rebate, bath sets are the perfect gift to give this holiday season. Choose from Dove Men's or Axe bath sets. They're just $797 each. Check out these and more amazing Black Friday deals at Menards. Available in store only while supplies last.
Save big money at Menards.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. In addition to heating and cooling, Air Comfort Service also offers indoor air quality, water heater, and AeroSeal duct sealing services. Get in your comfort zone with aircomfortservice.com.
If it's bumper to bumper or smooth sailing, Sue Thomas has you covered with dependable traffic. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I used to rule the world. Seas would rise when I gave the word. Now in the morning I sleep alone. Sweep the streets I used to own.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Just reading some somewhat inappropriate jokes on our live stream. Kind of funny, kind of inappropriate. You can join us at the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe when you go there and watch us live. You can chat along with us as well as on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Annie Frey Show. Brad, you were off Thursday and Friday, right?
Thursday and Friday I was off.
Did you do you do Black Friday shopping?
I don't. I don't like crowds and
But you don't. Most Black Friday shopping isn't. It's in your pajamas next to the fire online.
I thought that was Cyber Monday shopping.
Oh no. I hate to tell you this 2 days after the fact, but you can basically buy anything that's Black Friday sale online.
Okay.
So I have my answer there. Yeah, you can. Yeah, I haven't done the crowd thing. I don't know if I've ever gone. The truth is that I have gone to shop in the middle of the night after Thanksgiving into the morning on Black Friday, but that was the one time I can remember doing that. We were at my grandma's house. We played Pinochle until like 2 a.m. on Thanksgiving night. And then we went home and we realized halfway home we were out of diapers. So my husband went into Walmart at like 2:30 in the morning to buy diapers.
Did you have to elbow anybody
on
to
Black
get some
Friday? Those are my size 5 diapers. Get away from me. No, I don't actually, he was like, there was nobody there.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is when Black Friday started at 5 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day, which is the dumbest thing ever. So Black Friday was obviously Friday and online, which maybe wasn't obvious to everybody. People didn't know that. Cyber Monday, as you pointed out, was yesterday. So that is when the online sales really happened. I think COVID really flipped that over. But do you know that today is Giving Tuesday? Are you familiar with that?
Yes, I'm familiar with that. Mostly because Twitter's been telling me all the places I can donate my money on
Yeah,
Giving Tuesday.
there's a lot of money being spent on telling you to donate your money.
But I don't know. I think I like Giving Tuesday better than the idea of a Cyber Monday or Black Friday. I like the idea of people giving to organizations that need donations, that need your support. That to me is easier to do than to just go out and buy like a big screen TV for discount because it's on sale.
Yeah, well, it is Giving Tuesday today. And if you're not aware of that, or if you think that it's a gimmick or, it's something that's overhyped and blah, 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 I'm going to tell you that whether it's a gimmick or not, there are places that you can connect with, that we have connected with here, sponsors of our show, Vitae Foundation, that I want you to give to every Tuesday or one Tuesday a month, because they're saving lives. And while we are looking down the path right now at a Supreme Court conversation, a hearing that's taking place, I guess, this week on abortion issues, this whole time, the Vitae Foundation is working hard on taking the most important thing that the Vitae Foundation does is they take a pro-woman approach. They don't forget the woman in the fight to save the life of the baby. In fact, they wrap their arms around that woman. And that's why we bring on Nick Johnson today to talk to us about it with Vitae Foundation. Nick is my friend, and we have partnered and worked together on many events, and he's the market director at Vitae Foundation. Nick, welcome to the Annie Frey Show. Great to have you here, as always.
Hi, Annie. Happy Thanksgiving. Great to be here.
So tell me, we have together welcomed Trey Gowdy and Jason Chaffetz in the last few months to the St. Louis area. I was so honored to be able to MC those events for Vitae Foundation, and I see the mission that you guys have in front of you is so compelling. There are a lot of people listening right now who may not have heard of Vitae Foundation, and they don't understand the unique approach that Vitae Foundation takes to helping women choose life. Tell me what Vitae Foundation does and how people can support you.
Sure. And it was absolutely wonderful to get together and in-person gathering with people in St. Louis and St. Charles this fall, this end of the year. But for those listeners who are maybe newer to the Annie Frey Show or newer to the Vitae Foundation, so what do we do? Where are we? We are a research and education organization within the pro-life movement. And really, I see us as the engine or the driver for all the good things in the pro-life movement of really coming up and crafting, based on research, that messaging and those ways to actually identify women, especially in that time of need. So finding women who are pregnant and don't necessarily want to be pregnant, and knowing that then in those times of need, that they are going to their phone, they're going to Google, and they're searching for what options they think they might have. And a lot of times they don't know what help is really available. And that's where the Vitae Foundation steps in during that now moment to make sure that they are actually connected with real help and real resources from pregnancy help centers, and to keep them out of the doors of places like Planned Parenthood and other abortion facilities that might be close by. So really making sure they're provided with those life-saving resources.
Yeah, it is so important to understand, Nick, what you're doing, what the Vitae Foundation is doing is so modern and smart. It is a really effective way of reaching these women in their time of distress, in their time of need. They discover that they're pregnant. They think that they're pregnant. They Google for a women's medical facility, which is often going to be Planned Parenthood. Being from the state of Illinois, right across the river, we have like a Mecca Planned Parenthood right over there, where it's a new, brand new, very large facility that people come from all over the Midwest to go to this Planned Parenthood to have their abortions. A lot of these women don't know what's occurring in their body. There's a whole industry of political fighters who are working hard to keep the truth, the science, away from these women. And what you do, you don't work with any particular women's shelter or women's facility, I should say. You support all of them. So if there are people listening who love Mosaic or they love Thrive or they have their own particular women's facility that they love, you work to support all of these individual places by getting yourself, getting those people in a position to see ads for those locations if they are Googling what to do next.
Right. The beauty of what we do as a nonprofit is give away everything that we know and to try to get it into the hands and minds of as many other pro-life peers across the nation and really even across the world to make sure that they have those tools and resources and those strategies, especially in this digital marketing world. You've already been talking with Brad about all the deals online, whether it's Black Friday or Cyber Monday, but to know that there's also this whole entire world of nonprofits that need help during this Giving Tuesday and to really launch and kick off this end of year giving campaigns for a lot of these nonprofits who need help, like the Vitae Foundation, where your money and your dollars can be put to these life-saving resources right away. And really, if I can I talk about how the Vitae Foundation really put its own shape and mark on Giving Tuesday this year a little bit?
Do that. Go ahead.
So really, not just a one day of giving, but really the Vitae Foundation for this year, we wanted to put the giving in Thanksgiving. And so it might be a few extra words or longer than usual, but that was the campaign. And so we wanted to help people know how to give back, whether that means random acts of kindness or volunteering or making donations to the Vitae Foundation, knowing that all giving is good. And so we even produced a calendar of all these ideas. So whether it's giving somebody a gift card or helping a neighbor, or now that our lawns are all covered in these orange and brown leaves, helping rake and remove those from our green grass while it's back to 60 and 70 degrees this week. Ways to volunteer and help at pregnancy help centers or other charities. And so it was really more than just a one day, but to know that this is also a kickoff for that end of year giving campaign, and that the Vitae Foundation has a goal of raising $75,000 through this campaign, and to know that that first $50,000 is also matched by one of our generous donors. And so that's one of the things to look for, is to see who else is supporting or getting lots of support, to know that then your money can be doubled or even tripled in some instances by the rest of the community who's getting behind and rallying their support, especially during this time of year.
We're speaking with Nick Johnson, the marketing director for Vitae Foundation. The website is adsforlife.org. And Nick, I have about a minute left here, but you're talking about $70,000, $50,000. Those are awesome goals. How much help does $25 from a listener right now? How far does that go?
Right. And even, while you're listening or while you're watching online, think about every time you click on something or every time you see a sponsored ad when you go to Google. Every click, every appearance for that ad, $25 makes that ad help happen, makes that woman find that ad at that time of need. And that is so important. And that's what donors can do through the Vitae Foundation.
Well, Nick, thank you so much for giving us some of your time today. And I hope that the Annie Frey Show audience shows up to give back to the Vitae Foundation to help you in your efforts to save these lives and reach these women. Thank you so much, Nick, for being with us today.
Thanks, Annie.
We'll talk to you soon. That's Nick Johnson with Vitae Foundation. So let me say this very clearly. adsforlife.org. adsforlife.org. We're streaming it. The website right now on the bottom of the live stream. So if you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, you can see that there. Seriously, I mean, you do not need to make a big donation to make a difference, and to potentially, seriously, one click could direct a woman to a medical facility that's going to say, here's a picture of what's going on right now in your belly. Yep, that's a baby. Sometimes that's all it takes. It just matters which address they go to first. Be a part of sending them to the right location by donating to adsforlife.org. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back in the next hour, Jim Carafano, Stephen Moore, and we have Scott Pressler in the 2 o'clock hour, one of the most active grassroots activists out there. Stick around. More Annie Frey Show in a minute.
Did you know you can sell any house within just 7 minutes without any fees, commissions, banks, or headaches? Chris Buys Homes STL.com is looking to make you a cash offer on your house today, no matter the size or condition. We buy vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, townhouses, condos, and apartment buildings. If you have a house and are just even thinking of selling, visit us at ChrisBuysHomesSTL.com. Leave us your info and we'll reach out to you, ask you some basic questions about your property, and make you a cash offer within just 7 minutes. Remember, when you sell your house to ChrisBuysHomesSTL.com, you get to choose the closing date. To get a free, no-obligation cash offer on your house, go online or call us today at 314-782-5000. That number is 314-782-5000. 314-782-5000. That's ChrisBuysHomesSTL.com.
Thomas Helbig and the Retirement Advisory Group. Man, this is the time. I keep watching the stock market because it seems like it's going up and down and up and down lately. Is that good or is that bad? It all really has to do with how much time you have left before you want to get out of the crazy stock market. If you have a retirement savings, I hope you do, and you're nearing retirement, you need Thomas Helbig, because when you see 3-digit losses on the stock market on a Tuesday afternoon, does it make you panic? Don't panic. You don't have to panic. When you have Retirement Advisory Group working for you and Thomas Helbig, retirementkey.com, you don't have to panic. He's never had a client lose a penny. If you're nearing retirement, if you're a pre-retiree, or you're currently just brand new to retired, reach out to Thomas Helbig and find out why you don't have to panic. 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. He's online right now at retirementkey.com.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Pineview Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men. The WAVE technology at Pineview Medical Clinic was tested by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic, and the results are in. It's proven to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED by treating the root cause, call us now, and not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces powerful and instant results in the bedroom. I don't think I've ever seen it fail. This is a $600 value, free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. 314-530-7777.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
A school shooting in Michigan. Elisa Brady, Fox News. The Oakland County Sheriff's Office just confirming that it responded to reports of an active shooter at Oxford High School in Oxford Township. That's a suburb north of Detroit. Their initial report is 4 to 6 victims, but no fatalities confirmed. And they do have a suspect in custody along with a handgun. No other details yet about how it all started, who the suspect is, or the conditions of the injured. Again, that's in Oxford Township, Michigan, a school shooting just confirmed north of Detroit. President Biden's COVID team says COVID's new variant has not been detected in the U.S. yet. They are actively looking for it, though. And for now, their advice has not changed as the race to study it continues. Fox's Gernal Scott has this live.
Elisa, Omicron is present in several other countries, but Dr. Anthony Fauci says due to a relatively small sample size,
it is very difficult to know whether or not this particular variant is going to result in severe disease.
CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky says what COVID has taught so far should help pinpoint Omicron when it appears.
We are actively putting systems in place with local and state laboratories to make detection and sequencing even faster.
In the meantime, travel protocols are being stepped up and mitigation such as masking and vaccinations are recommended to stop any spread. Lisa.
Thanks, Gernal. The new variant may have arrived in Europe earlier than first thought. One patient sample in the Netherlands is dated November 19th, 5 days before South Africa reported the new variant. France's first case may also have predated that announcement, a traveler who returned November 20th. Japan now reporting its first case and announcing a ban on all foreign visitors. But the World Health Organization is speaking out against blanket travel bans, saying they don't prevent the spread. The White House says new restrictions can help delay the spread, though. America is listening to Fox News.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly sunny skies with us as we go through this Tuesday afternoon, closing out the month of November in the 50s. Downtown may just touch 60 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, dropping out of the 50s for evening plans. 35 will do it for the low. Wednesday, partly sunny. Warm it up in the afternoon. 65, warm it up to 70 Thursday afternoon. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Mark Reardon from 3 to 6.
The Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, the Washington Post all had it on the front page of their website. I go to my local paper, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. 5 people dead and 48 injured, including children, did not warrant any coverage on the front page of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch's website. Now, that's stunning to me, but it's not surprising because I know the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, and they don't even seem like they care about getting the narratives wrong.
Mark Reardon from 3 to 6, 97.1 FM Talk.
Home warranty. I know, right? Buying coverage for appliances, your heater and AC, etc., from a company that hopes you never ever have a claim or call. Let me introduce you to a real home warranty company, the kind that actually wants to help you. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Upkeep visits your home 4 times a year to maintain your appliances and equipment. You will never get a lack of maintenance denial because Upkeep does the maintenance. Also nice, Upkeep assigns you one point person to help you. You won't be passed around like an office hot potato, and you won't get subcontractors. Upkeep does all their work, so there's no blame game. Just experts helping you. Visit upkeepstl.com today and type in 97.1 for $100 off. Don't be denied. Instead, be relieved. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. 636-387-7331.
Keep up your home with Upkeep. Keep up your home with Upkeep. Keep up your home with Upkeep, and you'll have a happy home.
Dealing with car repairs can feel like a lose-lose situation because you lose your money and you lose your time. Mark Cox here for my friends at Car Shield. If you don't have the right coverage, just one repair can bleed you dry. Since I called Car Shield, I don't have to worry about expensive repairs anymore. Their administrators handle the paperwork and expensive payments, so I don't have to. That's a win-win. Seriously, they could save you thousands. I get to pick my mechanic to do the work. CarShield's administrators take care of the rest. It's like having your own personal team of auto repair problem solvers, and they can provide roadside assistance, rental coverage, trip reimbursement, all at no additional charge, whether your car has 5,000 miles or 150,000 miles. They have monthly coverage options to fit your budget. Get coverage today. Find out why CarShield cars go farther. Visit carshield.com/KFTK to save 10%. That's carshield.com/KFTK. A deductible may apply.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health from Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health from Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
Southern Armory. Stop in today and see the great gifts we have for the shooter of your life. Southern Armory, 9901 Watson Road, 1 mile east of 270-44, and southernarmory.com. That's southernarmory.com.
Download the Odyssey app to discover hundreds of new exclusive music stations available now. For music fans, by music fans.
Yeah, it's over.
Music stations specific to your taste, now available through the Odyssey app. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by the Loading Dock, with a unique and beautiful ice skating rink to enjoy this time of year. Go to graftonloadingdock.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Well, what President Biden did over the weekend is a typical half measure that reflects the incompetence of this administration. If you want to implement a travel ban, it needs to go into effect immediately. Exactly. That's what most European nations did that implemented that travel ban. If you don't want to implement a travel ban because you think the virus is already here or that it's counterproductive, then you shouldn't do so. But this is yet another incompetent half measure. As you said, Brian, last January, when the Democrats were wasting the American people's time with the impeachment trial of President Trump, I was trying to sound the alarm about this virus. I was calling for President Trump to stop travel immediately from China to the United States. After about a week, President Trump did so. And I remember then that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris denounced it as xenophobic and racist, just like they called subsequent travel bans on other countries racist as well. The hypocrisy here is amazing.
Have you noticed the consistent inconsistency of the political parties? Who they want to allow to come here, who they're aggressively trying to stop from coming here, and the fact that it's only when certain people do it that it becomes racist. And if those people do it, i.e. the Republicans, if somebody who is in power, who has an R by their name, decides to do it, it's automatically just racist. But then if they step in and do the exact same thing, now it's sensible. It's maddening. It's a head scratcher. And I'm interested to hear what Jim Carafano has to think about that. The leading expert in national security and foreign policy at the Heritage Foundation, Jim Carafano, joins us right now. I mean, who do we want to come into our country, and who do we not? And when is it not racist, Jim? I'm very confused.
Yeah. So look, I mean, everybody knows that they lied. That they lied when they said all that stuff about Trump. We know it's a lie. They know it's a lie. Look, and they lied because they didn't want Trump to be president. They wanted somebody else to be president. They want this other person to be successful, even if they're not. And so they're going to continue. We don't get that. So let's just push that aside. You know, what is the difference? And the difference is, if you want to take the politics out of it and look at what a president did, you make a decision based on risk. Risk is what's the threat, what's the vulnerability, and what's the criticality, and then make a decision. So that, look, I mean, the context of decisions between what Trump did and now are different. And here's how they're different. One is, when Trump made this decision, his decision, he knew that the disease was highly transmittable. He knew it was highly dangerous, particularly to vulnerable groups. These were known facts. And at the time, we did not have any what's called therapeutics, way to treat the disease, or prophylactics, way to prevent the disease, like immunization. And we didn't have the hospital capacity to deal with that. Those were known, right? And that's based on those facts. He made a public health decision, which any public health official in the world that ever studied diseases would say, okay, that's a reasonable thing to do. Here's the difference. Biden has made his decision on, one, not knowing if this disease is actually a threat. And two, in a world where we have lots of vaccines, lots of therapeutics, and ways to test people for COVID, which we didn't have. So the risk profile is completely different. The president made the same decision. Arguably, look, neither one of them is a racist decision, but in terms of a public health decision, arguably Trump's was on way more solid ground than Biden. I mean, that's just factually true.
You know, you mentioned that you make these decisions based on risk. And I wrote down what you said, the risk involving what's the threat and what's the vulnerability. I'm going to add something in there, the risk that involves political calculation, because Trump knew that if he made the decision that he made, that it was going to be thrown in his face, because everything was thrown in his face. It's interesting to me that the political calculation, Trump making that decision in the face of fire that he was going to receive after doing that President Biden, he doesn't have that political calculation doesn't really have to be a part of his consideration, because the media is so soft on everything that he does.
I will make a prediction, much like I predicted that when all the evidence came in, that the Russia inclusion thing would be proven false, that quid pro quo would be proven false, and that the White House led an insurrection would be proven false. I believed all those, and when the evidence came in, it turns out I was right. When the evidentiary story of the Biden policies on COVID are written, you will find out that they drove policies based on not public health risks, which arguably is what Trump did. They based it on political risks, that they got elected by condemning Trump for how he dealt with COVID. And then once in power, they had to be the guys that were dealing with COVID. And so it was the impression of that drove their decision rather than public health. I think this explains the mask policies, which are ludicrous. It explains the mandatory vaccinations, which for a country which is already highly vaccinated and has massive therapeutic capacity and has massive hospitals, the notion that you have to get mandatory vaccines and not taking into account not just the violation of people's personal rights, but the economic damage that you're doing. It's all driven by what they think are good politics for the administration. And I think, to be honest, the ban's the same. Yeah. They just did it because they want to be seen like they're on top. They have to, it literally at this point, it's all they have. And the weird thing is they stick with all they have, even after all they have is demonstrably proven really failing. They stick with, we're handling the economy, even though they've tanked the economy. We're handling with COVID. They've had more COVID deaths than Trump. We're handling foreign policy. We're handing Iran, and the Iran thing's a disaster. It's like the captain of the Titanic arguing that he is still the best captain, even as the ship goes under.
Yeah. You mentioned the mask policies, the mandatory vaccines. I'll add in there lockdowns that various places have implemented.
Absolutely.
And now we have, we have this African travel ban from Biden. It's as if he's assessing that people coming here from another place could be a threat to the people in the United States of America. But if they were serious about that, and they were serious about masking, and they were serious about lockdowns, and they were serious about mandatory vaccines, you cannot have all those same thoughts in the same brain, using the same brain cells, and have an open border on the South. You can't do it.
Well, you can, right? So literally, you're letting in 2 million people with zero public health protocols. Zero. 2 million people, and then you're intentionally moving them all over the country. And so you cannot be using a common sense risk assessment to do that. So if that's not the clearest evidence that their COVID policies are driven by politics and not by public health, I don't think there is one. And you can say anything you want about public health officials, but the fact that they are continuing to serve this president, putting these kinds of policies in place, and then looking people in the straight face and saying that they're doing good science, and it doesn't pass the common sense test. But look, lies are all they have. It's all they've had since they've started. They ran from the basement. They lied. They said they were moderates and they do everything better. and they have nothing else to bring to the table other than the lies.
Yeah. We're speaking with Jim Carafano, who's the leading expert in national security foreign policy at Heritage Foundation. You say this all the time. You do policy, not politics. And I think it's really important to understand. I think the majority of people know there's a difference, and they are faced with it every single day, which is why when you go back and look at the Trump administration and you see how much prosperity and success the country absorbed during his time in office, but it just seemed like it was tumultuous the entire time. He had good policy, if you ask me. You talk about doing policy, not politics. How do you define the difference between those two things?
Well, policy is, policies are you things that you do in the public interest. Politics are things you do that accumulate political power. Now, that doesn't mean that politics can't produce good policies, right? You can do things that give you political power, but that also make life better for Americans. But they're two different things. And why at times people say, well, you're always criticizing the president. You must, be I don't belong to a political party. This is what wokeness is all about. What wokeness tries to do is conflate the two and saying our politics are good policy. Our pursuit of power is good policy. So whatever gives us more power is producing the best possible outcomes. And so they're telling people basically is we're not being political. These are just policies. There are 87 genders. That's just policy. It's not politics. People should use whatever bathroom these are policies. It's not politics. Your children should be taught they're racist. That's not politics. It's just policy. And of course it's not. It's just the way how they think the world works. And the problem is I wouldn't mind if they were actually producing outcomes that made life better for Americans, but they're demonstrably not. So it's bad policy. To me, it's bad politics. It's like if you want to get elected and you want to have political power, shouldn't you be doing things that are good for Americans? And you're right. There are times when we've had American presidents who did things which were politically suicidal, but they were damn good policy. I think Donald Trump having the courage to do the travel ban, even though getting credit, was one. Harry Truman during the Korean War, even though he knew it was going to cost him the presidency and cost him his reelection, he made decisions which were in the best interest of fighting for the country, and fired MacArthur, which we knew was political suicide because MacArthur was so popular. But he did it because he thought it was the right policy, even though he knew it was actually destroyed his chances of ever getting reelected. It was disastrous politics. But that's the difference between leaders and people who want political power.
Yeah. And the American people are seeing that right now, in my opinion, with what we are being told about how good things are or how bad things aren't. But, you feel it at home. You feel it in your pocketbook. You see it around the globe. I mean, we're seeing a lot of China conflict right now. Right. And people it's seeping into people's lives through the Olympics, no less. In ways that may not be able to be managed by the big political managers that are normally out there. Do you think people are waking up?
And it's worse than Jimmy Carter. I mean, remember Jimmy Carter's crisis of confidence speech? His very famous speech he gave, where he basically went to the American people and said, yeah, things are really crappy. I get that. And, we're going to try and make them better. So at least he acknowledged that everything was horrible. The Biden guys come out and they tell you that this is the best of all possible worlds, that inflation is good for you, that America humiliated in Afghanistan is a good thing. I mean, it's the closest in my lifetime I've ever come to experience Soviet Pravda. And yeah, I do think Americans get the joke at this point, and they're not laughing.
Yeah. So much. Jim Carafano, you are a delight to have on the show. We're always grateful when you're here, and we always look forward to having you back.
Thanks for having me.
We'll talk to you again soon. AG Carafano on Twitter, at JJ Carafano, cuts right to the chase, and I like that. So if you missed the beginning of that interview, if you didn't hear the whole thing, you can go to the Odyssey app on your phone and you can rewind, which is a pretty cool thing to be able to do with live radio. You can rewind to about 1:10-ish 108 maybe, and start that interview from the beginning. If you don't have time to do that now, you can just subscribe to the Annie Frey Show podcasts on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts from, and you won't miss a thing because we put it all up there for you to consume. Quick break. When we come back, Stephen Moore is going to join us. He wasn't with us yesterday. Neither was I. I wasn't with us yesterday. So we're going to talk with him and get an economic update. Let's hope he is not apocalyptic on all this. And also, if you haven't seen the YouTube live stream or the Facebook live stream right now, I am wearing something special for you, which could go a lot of ways. It's not the way you think. I can attest to that. But it's really, really cool. How do you like it? Are you?
I'm officially in the Christmas spirit.
Yes?
Yes, and I'm probably going to get into a house decorating competition with my neighbor.
Oh, I like that. Can we cheer you on? We
Yeah,
absolutely will.
absolutely.
All right, let's take a quick break. Stephen Moore with Freedom Works when we come back.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. Threatening, throttling, or outright censorship. Not here. This is the place for ideas. 97.1 FM Talk. Right here, right now.
Rudy Beck, Jay Lennox, and Carolyn Diker at Beck and Lennox Estate Planning and Elder Law are waiting for your phone call. Free consultations. If you have not had your estate plan done, if you haven't had your trust planned, if you need to talk about powers of attorney, wills, if you have somebody, I cannot stress enough, if you have somebody who's dependent upon you, you need to have this. You can't afford not to. If you don't have the plans set out, if you don't have your wishes on paper and thought out, it's all going to go to the courts. It's all going to be public. It's all going to be out there. You need Beck and Lennox Estate Planning and Elder Law. Here's what you do. You're going to give them a call. I'm going to give you the number right now. You can pick up your phone. You can punch this number into your phone. Save it for later when you can make the phone call. Save it as Beck and Lennox. 636-946-7899. That's 636-946-7899. They can talk to you about your will, your trust, your powers of attorney. They can talk to you about long-term care planning. They can even talk to you about getting your VA benefits that are often very complicated and too bureaucratic, I digress, to get. 636-946-7899. Find them online at beckelderlaw.com.
Is your retirement income at risk if you or your spouse needs nursing home or in-home care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. The cost of long-term care is one of the biggest risks in retirement planning. For many retirees, a single nursing home stay can cause a significant reduction in assets that can permanently reduce your retirement income. Fortunately, there are affordable and flexible options available today that can help you manage the cost of long-term care. Our team can help you address the risks relevant to your retirement, including long-term care. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
There's no gift that's more beautiful, more versatile, and more meaningful than a beautiful piece of jewelry. And there's no better place to shop than Diamonds Direct, where making memorable moments is our specialty. This holiday season, we've put together our most impressive selection of can't-miss gifts. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands for every taste and every price range. And to make it easier to splurge this season, we're offering 4 years, zero-interest financing on any holiday purchase. So that $5,000 Eternity Band is just over $100 a month. And that $10,000 designer diamond ring, just around $200 a month. With this special offer, everything's affordable. So come to Diamonds Direct. Let our experts help you choose that perfect headliner gift for this holiday season. Get holiday store hours, directions, finance details, and see our online gift guide at diamondsdirect.com on approved credit. I live in 270 at City Place.
Come to the Enchanted Attic. We've got lots of gift ideas for you. Come to the Enchanted Attic, filled with sparkling jewelry, gemstones too. Scented candles, fragrant incense, treasure chests, they're the best fairies too. Buy yourself some soothing music. You will be much calmer if you do. The holidays can be real stressful. Worry stones for everyone will do. Meditation books are helpful. Get your relatives at least one or two. Crystal balls and tarot cards and dragons and Buddhas and feng shui too. Come to the Enchanted Attic, 636-949-9502 in historic St. Charles.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
I can give you what you want, but you got to come home and read. I got some good old loving and I got some on stove. When I get so throwing it on you, you got to come back for more. Oh, them things that come by the dozen, I ain't nothing but drugstore love. Hey, little thing, let me light you candle.
Well, I sure hope none of it passes, because if you look, voters in Virginia already spoke out overwhelmingly. They said they don't want more spending. They don't want more government control.
Yeah.
They don't want government telling parents to stay out of their kids' education. They don't want government spending trillions more dollars, because that's what's driving inflation. And if you spend trillions more, you'll get even higher inflation. That's what voters said in Virginia, which is not a red or purple state. Yet they want to ignore that and just keep ramming the spending down people's throats because they're drunken sailors on all the spending. And apologies to sailors who drink, because they don't even want to be compared to these folks.
Apologies to sailors who drink. Is it, it seems like in this woke culture, we shouldn't be talking about drunken sailors. What if their feelings are hurt and they're drunk and they punch you? You get what you just get what's coming to you. I mean, everybody feels costs going up, right, Brad?
Oh, absolutely.
You didn't know that you could shop Black Friday online, which makes me really sad for you. This is a revelation that I'm sad that you didn't know.
What this should reveal to you is that I don't do Christmas shopping for our family.
Does your wife know that you can shop online
absolutely.
on Black Friday?
I'm certain she does.
So you can claim credit for, like, if I say, did you do Black Friday shopping? If your wife did, that counts.
See, I don't know if she did, though. She did it for me and didn't tell me, because I don't know if she bought anything.
Did you ask for anything? Is there anything you're like hoping for? I feel like once you get to a certain age, it's like, meh.
It's kind of that. But if I told you, you'd probably laugh at me.
Well, then let's talk about it.
So, like, I want an air compressor. Is that weird?
No, my husband asked for an air compressor probably 2 years ago.
Well, I found one that is made by this company, and it's a quiet air compressor. It's like 60 decibels when it's running, which is
60 decibels.
Yes, which
60.
It's incredibly quiet.
What does that mean?
I'm sorry.
He just went nerd. Like, he's like, oh, you want to talk about air compressors? We could talk about air compressors.
It's just a quiet air compressor, because there's nothing more annoying than, like, whenever you're trying to work on something and talk to somebody and then the air compressor kicks on. You've heard air compressor, right?
Yeah. My grandpa had this green air compressor that was like, you could have put like petroleum in this thing.
Yeah.
It was gigantic, and you turn it on, you could hear it for houses away.
Yeah. So, like, at my dad's house, he's got a huge one too, because he's got all that trucking equipment and he's got to use air tools for that. But he put it in a shed outside of the shop that he works in and runs that.
What do you use an air compressor for? Like, not what does Brad?
What does Brad use it for? Well, Brad would use it for air tools, basically, impact wrenches. I also need an air compressor, like whenever I'm sanding something, to spray the sawdust off of it, and so you can look at it and see what you're doing. Nailers, air nailers, all that fun stuff.
I use an air compressor to fill up bike tires and basketballs. That's about it. So, like, the noise is very temporary in that regard.
Yeah, and then I have, like, my mowing equipment that I need to air tires up in that.
Well, I listening to Steve Scalise, they're talking about the drunken sailor spending that's going on in Washington, D.C. And you go out and you're trying to cultivate all these deals over Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all of these different things where you were trying to make sure that your dollar goes as far as it possibly can. Meanwhile, Washington, D.C. doesn't give two craps about how far your dollar goes. In fact, they pretty much have taken the stance, at least this Biden administration, driven by the squad, they've really taken the stance that they're going to allow you to keep some of your dollars rather than bargain with the voters of the American people on how many dollars they're going to be allowed to take as voters. I want to ask Stephen more about this. Stephen, I'm very curious, as the senior economic contributor at FreedomWorks, if you are a Black Friday shopper trying to stretch the dollar as far as you possibly can go.
Well, because of inflation, I don't know if you saw our hotline, but we have the hotline got a lot of attention yesterday because we had a cartoon of a people buying a Christmas tree, and it was like 1 foot tall because they couldn't afford anything other than that.
This is a little one.
So look, we have real problems with the economy right now. I mean, we've got inflation is not getting better; it's getting worse. So people are feeling sticker shock when they go to the store to buy presents, or when they're buying gasoline, or whether they're buying food, and it's just. Everyone in Washington is acting like there's nothing happening out there that's negatively influencing people, but we all feel it. And so Biden has this laughable line, Annie, that, if we pass this $4 trillion spending bill, that somehow that's going to make the inflation problem better. I mean, raise your hand if you actually believe that, because if you do, you probably think Al Gore invented the internet too. I mean, these are just outrageously lies that are coming out of the administration, and they are hell-bent on kind of transforming our country away from a free enterprise system to big government socialism. And, I'm devoting every hour of every day. The reason I was a couple minutes late for your show is, we're just trying to devise a strategy. How do we stop this from happening in our great country? I mean, how do we get Tammy Baldwin of Illinois to vote against this crappy bill? How, Dick Durbin, I know your show reaches into, you have a lot of listeners in the Illinois state. I mean, this bill is going to bankrupt our country. I can't say that loud enough. If you think inflation is bad now, wait till they borrow another $3 trillion and just flush the economy with all this free money.
There's one thing, Stephen, that I've seen with this administration, just like you're saying, you're dedicating all of your time to trying to get this train back on the tracks. Right. I hear the Fed chair saying inflation's going to go down. I hear Jen Psaki acting like it's not that big of a deal. They're not going to solve a problem they don't think exists.
Well, what it really shows is people who live in Washington are in a big bubble. They don't understand what's going on in St. Louis. They don't understand what's going on in Maine and Montana and California. And they live in a bubble. They're protected from the destructive nature of their own policies. In fact, as government grows, Washington gets richer. So they think, oh, this is great. That's why Trump, when Trump said drain the swamp, it so resonated with people, because people in Washington don't get what's going on in the rest of the country. They just don't. I live in the swamp. I'm not in the swamp right now, but I live there. I see it every day. They live in a pretend fantasy world, and they don't understand how their policies affect real working Americans. If you have to pay $1.25 a gallon more for gasoline because of your green energy fantasies, that puts the hurt to people. That causes financial hardship for people, and they don't care.
Yeah, I'm looking right now on the FreedomWorks website. At the bottom here, it says, "Stop the Socialist Green New Deal, sign the petition." And I'm thinking about this and the way that the Green New Deal has been such a huge priority for this administration and a lot of the people who have the most pressure on this administration. I don't think it really translates to everyday Americans, especially where we are, where we have a lot of people who work in the coal industry here. We have a lot of people who work, in factories and are going to lose a lot of jobs if this Green New Deal is implemented. I don't feel like they've really sold the payoff for what they're trying to kill in the wake of this policy move.
Yeah, you think? I mean, you're exactly right about that. And, the fantasy is that, people who live in the coal towns in states like, Missouri or Illinois, or states like West Virginia are going to somehow start making, wind turbines. I mean, by the way, the wind turbine, where the wind turbines are made?
Where?
In
China. Yeah, my producer's saying China, and I'm like, oh gosh,
so
here we go.
We're killing our coal industry so we can buy wind turbines from China. I mean, how dumb is this? And so I know if I sound a little frustrated today, I am frustrated because this all we need to do is let the government stand out of the way. And I think we will be on a good recovery. I mean, everybody's a little concerned about this new variant on the virus, but it looks like it's going to be fairly mild, God willing. And but the more the government intervenes with these $1 trillion spending bills, if you notice it, the worse the inflation gets. It's people can put 2 + 2 together, Joe Biden. They're not as dumb as you think they are.
Yeah, I say that all the time. We're not nearly as dumb as they need us to be. That's for sure. We're speaking with Stephen Moore, the senior economic contributor at FreedomWorks. You mentioned China. We just got done speaking with Jim Carafano of the Heritage Foundation about China on a foreign policy situation. I'm looking at Fox News right now. They're talking about a nuclear hotline with China, and you're talking about China from the economic situation. But you know what? The Biden administration's not talking about China. They don't want to talk about China. What do the American people, the voters, the taxpayers need to understand about the role that China is playing in our current economy today?
Well, what's so interesting, Annie, is, I'm involved in a lot of polling to see, what Americans think about this or that. What's so interesting about this is that there's only one issue really that transcends ideology, that Republicans and Democrats almost completely agree on. And that is that we have a real threat of China. China's posed a real threat to America from a strategic, national security, and economic point of view. And yet, what is the Biden policy? It is to suck up to President Xi. It's to, reduce our American energy independence. So we have to get more energy from countries like China and Russia. It is to show weakness through our Afghanistan policy. I mean, what do you think the Chinese leaders think when they see how we departed Afghanistan? They see weakness, right? And as Reagan used to say, weakness is provocative to our enemies. It provokes other countries to, swing at us. So we got to get tough. And the best way to outcompete China is to put America first. How does it put America first if we're going to raise our tax rates higher than the tax rates in China? That just puts China at a competitive advantage to us. And that's why President Xi is laughing behind our back, as Donald Trump would say. So let's get serious about this. The biggest challenge to America right now is not climate change. It's not climate change. It is, how are we going to make sure that America retains its status as the global economic superpower? Are we going to surrender it to China? I hope not while you and I are alive.
Yeah, hope not. I wish we could say just no, but I hope not. I'm right there with you. We're speaking with Stephen Moore right now with FreedomWorks. Last question before
I'll tell you one guy who wanted to get tough on China. That was Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And he was right.
Is that the
He
problem?
was the first president in modern times to say China is not a friend. They are an enemy. They are not an ally. They're an adversary. And when is this administration going to understand that? So when we close down our coal mines and our natural gas facilities and buy and become dependent on China and Saudi Arabia for our energy, that's pretty dumb.
Yeah, you're right. Real quick before I let you go, we've heard this administration say, kind of clap back at the idea that the Trump administration was for the middle class, and they're talking about how they are for the middle class. How is the middle class faring under the Biden economic policy?
Well, we had the best economy ever under Trump before COVID hit. And, now we've got a situation where inflation is a thief. It robs you of your paycheck. And so you've got wages up 4%, Annie, but inflation is up 6%. So do the math. If your paycheck may be a little bit bigger, but your cost of living is even higher, you're losing ground. So hopefully this will be a temporary situation. I hope that Biden rights the ship. But I got to tell you again, the worst thing we could do right now is to pass another $3.5 trillion debt bill with more welfare, kills the American oil and gas industry, hurts our small businesses, raises taxes, does have no work requirements, increases our national debt. Somebody raise your hand if you think that makes a lot of sense, because I sure don't.
Yeah. I agree with you. Stephen, thank you so much for giving us some time on a Tuesday, a little out of the ordinary for us, and we were grateful that you had some room for us in your afternoon.
All right, Andy, have a great day.
You
Take
too.
care.
Bye-bye. The senior economic contributor at FreedomWorks, Stephen Moore, joining us there. And I encourage you to go to freedomworks.org to, I don't like when people are like, oh, educate yourself, mostly because it seems like uneducated people are the ones saying that the most. And it's always on social media. Have you heard that? I mean, you see people like,
you need to educate yourself.
yeah, no, what you mean by that is you want me to believe everything that you believe.
Right.
And if I say educate yourself, you're not going to do it. Why do you think I'm going to do it? Anyway, I'm going to say very kindly and nicely and sweetly that you can educate yourself if you choose about a lot of these economic things that are going on at freedomworks.org. And that is who Stephen Moore is affiliated with. And I want to make sure that you're connected with that. Freedomworks.org. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we can talk a little bit more about how our holiday break went. And I want to remind you at 2:25, Scott Pressler is going to come on the show. I don't know if there's a man working harder than Scott Pressler from a grassroots standpoint in the United States of America than Scott Pressler. He is an activist. He is registering Republicans all over the country. I mean, legitimately all over the country. And he is with us at 2:25. You're going to want to be here to see that. So watch us live on the Annie Frey YouTube channel, the Annie Frey Show Facebook page, and we are on Twitch and Twitter. And we'll be right back in just a few minutes. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Got some good old loving and I got some more in store. When I get those throwing on you, you gotta come running back for more. Folks are running along and down by the dozen. That ain't nothing but drugstore love. Hey, little thing, let me light your candle, cause mama, I'm sure all down and just around.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Attorney General AG Schmitt with us this afternoon.
It's remarkable, actually, how these petty COVID tyrants just never want to stop. But I got news for them. I'm going to fight them every step of the way, and we're winning.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
STS Armory is online at sts-armory.com, where I go to purchase firearms, to get ammo, to get training. If you are interested in training, they're the best. They're located in Pontoon Beach, Illinois, and I've had multiple experiences there myself. I have had family members who have gone. I have friends who have gone there, and they all say the same. They appreciate Katie and Jesse, the owners there, so much for being kind and super knowledgeable and connected to making sure that whatever the situation or the circumstance that they're going in there for, they know how to help and they're willing to help. They're just helpful people. Whether you are looking to, make your first gun purchase you ever have, and you're in the state of Illinois and you got to have a FOID card and you got to learn how to, navigate the system, the anti-Second Amendment system that is the state of Illinois, STS Armory can help you with that. If you are an experienced gun owner, a collector, and you're looking for a specific firearm, they can help you with that too. And like I said, they train the trainers. So if you are looking for the best training that is in the bi-state region, you need to go to STS Armory. 618-931-GUNS, online at sts-armory.com.
It was very important to feel like a company valued me and my family's time, specifically helping get the timeshare company off of our backs.
Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, and all the ways you can. I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. I first heard that John Wesley quote when I was 11 years old in Sunday school. I even have his words displayed at all of our offices to give our employees the same purpose I have when fighting to get clients out of a fraudulent timeshare.
If you were not satisfied with other companies, look directly to Wesley Financial and they will help you.
I promise we'll do all the good we can every single day. That's why I guarantee we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-646-5959. 800-646-5959. 800-646-5959.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-486-2205. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-486-2205. That's 800-486-2205. 800-486-2205. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
Station KFTK, an equal opportunity employer, is dedicated to providing a broad outreach for job vacancies at our stations. We seek the help from local community organizations in referring qualified applicants to our stations. Community organizations that wish to receive our job vacancy information can reach out to Frankie Fan at 206-577-2432. In addition, all listeners are encouraged to visit Odyssey.com for an online listing of job vacancies of all Odyssey radio stations.
Tony LaRussa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Up to the minute traffic reports, so you don't have to keep looking at your phone. Dependable traffic on 97.1 FM Talk. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
Of a white Christmas.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Just like
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear.
I'm not sure that there is a better voice in Christmas music than Bing Crosby. And I find myself listening to, I like to listen to tradition, like, I don't know, it's called Traditions or something on Sirius. Yeah, bad man, I know. And when I hear Bing Crosby sing other things, I'm like, oh, this is nice. This is good. He's reaching out. It's like, how many years ago was he singing these songs? He's so good. Like, do people sing like this anymore?
The closest I could think of would be like Michael Bublé.
Michael Bublé is great. I don't want to take any to compare anybody to Bing Crosby and be like, oh, they're just not that good.
But he's not Bing Crosby.
That doesn't mean anything about how good you are or aren't. But there's just some type of thing about the way Bing Crosby sings. And those blue eyes, pretty blue eyes. He's a handsome fella. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. So I spent, I know that we talk a really big game about when Christmas decorating is supposed to happen or can happen. I mean, it's an important caveat to my Christmas decorating mentality. It's that you should do whatever makes you happy. I don't care. I mean, I do know people who don't put up Christmas decorations during Advent. They wait till Christmas and then they leave them up for the 12 days of Christmas and then they take them down when Epiphany starts.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bunch of church words, but that's the way a lot of people consider the Christmas season to be the start of Christmas on Christmas Day, and they decorate their tree on Christmas. Did I say I know a lot of people? I know one family who does that. I personally started stretching out when I would begin decorating for Christmas because let's be real about it. Christmas is basically 25 days.
Mm-hmm.
And if you wait until after Thanksgiving to do it, in my lifetime or in my lifestyle where I have 4 kids, it won't get done. And so when my grandmother was still with us, she died in 2020, in September of 2020. So that would have been 2 Christmases ago that I would have. She would have been like 93. I would have been 36 or something like that. I don't know. My entire life, I stayed overnight or Thanksgiving night or went back on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, and helped my grandma put up her decorations. I went from being a nuisance, I'm sure, of like being 5 years old and can I help decorate the Christmas tree? And it's like not help at all. It is not helpful to have a 5-year-old decorating a Christmas tree if you have a plan in mind. I started when I was probably about 5 and went back every year, helped her decorate every year, the day after. And so I don't have that anymore, but I would have to, especially when I started having kids, had my own family, if I wanted to get things done before things got crazy, I just had to do it before Christmas. And then there came this like onslaught of memes of turkeys telling Santa Claus to wait your turn. And I'm like, gosh, this is really aggressive. And I was just trying to get my Christmas. So it's my all in for supporting people to decorate whenever it works for you has a lot more to do with having a crazy busy lifestyle, having priorities the day after Christmas when I would probably normally have decorated for Christmas. That's when my grandma decorated. Into my lifestyle just being the way it was and accommodating that. And being really, really weirded out by how aggressively upset people were about other people celebrating Christmas not on their time schedule. I just don't understand it. So if you've tuned into the live stream right now on Facebook.com or on Twitter or Twitch, or especially the Annie Frey YouTube channel, you can see my Mickey Mouse lit up Christmas tree sweatshirt. Yes, it's wonderful. I spent $14.88 at Walmart to purchase this puppy. It's one of my favorite finds.
That's a great buy.
It's a great buy. It lights up. You can't wash this, right?
I don't know.
No, you
like some
can't.
symbols on the tags, right? That tell you
know.
whether or not you can wash it.
It's got this little secret pocket here that's got how does this work? Let's pull this out. It's got cords and a switch. No, you can't wash this. Like, that's obviously duh. If it is, then this is
Can you replace the batteries on it?
Yeah.
Now, this is from an electronic.
It's got like 2 watch batteries in it.
Yeah, you would just take the batteries out and not let there be any electricity in it. And as long as it dries fully, it would work again.
I don't believe you. But if it stops working anyway, because of batteries or something, I'm going to wash it and see.
Okay.
You would know more about electrical stuff than I would. But that sounds like voodoo.
It sounds
I
like
don't play
voodoo
with
because you're
voodoo.
like, I got it wet. But once the water completely dries, there's nothing there to conduct the electricity to make the short happen. So, you know,
60 decibels, huh?
Yeah. We need Chris from the Facebook chat to chime in. He's an electrical engineer, and he could tell us if I'm way off.
I love that
there.
you know the professions of all of our
Not
friends.
all of them.
Not all of them, but our regulars. Chris is a regular. So we started decorating. Let's see. Did I try Wednesday? No, that's what I want to talk about. Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, I had put up in my house, and I posted a picture of it on my Facebook page. I had put up, we got a $22 tree from Walmart, and that's our Disney tree, and we're going to put Disney ornaments on it. We have a Disney advent calendar. There's like 25 ornaments that you can open up, and the kids put candy in them and hung them on. Okay, so that was like I put that up, and I had it up so that if people are like, do you have Christmas decorations up ready? I could be like, yeah, because I did. And it was like 2 weeks early. But we didn't get the majority of our Christmas decorations up until this past weekend, which was ironically after Thanksgiving, but that's how it worked into our lifestyle. I am nuts, and I know this. I don't know if you saw this post, Brad, but on Wednesday, my husband and I we hosted Thanksgiving. I said I would like a new dining room table.
I saw that,
and I posted on Facebook to my personal Facebook. I said, I know this is crazy, but is there even a possibility that I could go today, buy a new dining room table, and have it today for Thanksgiving tomorrow? And there were a lot of no. Like, oh, Annie, you're precious. That's so cute. Guess what I did? I went to Kloss Furniture in Edwardsville. I went to a whole bunch of other places that were proving that theory correct.
Mm-hmm.
But we went to Kloss Furniture in Edwardsville, and it's a locally owned business. They're building one in St. Louis, I think in South St. Louis somewhere. And they have some in Highland. And we went in there. We walked in at 3:00, and I think her name was Christina, came up and said, "Can I help you?" And I go, "Crazy question. I would like a new dining room table for Thanksgiving. I know that's crazy. Is there any possibility that there's a table in here that I could purchase and pick up today so I can have tomorrow?" She goes, "Well, yeah, that's a possibility." I was like, "What? Where? Which ones?" So she quick pointed out I had to go pick up this table by 4:20 p.m. in Highland, Illinois, which is where their pickup facility is. And in 25, I knew what I wanted. And this table that I bought will seat 12, which is amazing.
That's fantastic.
Because we are having the holiday. I don't know. I hope the family keeps coming over. They don't seem to complain. They seem to be happy. Maybe that was a jump the gun a little bit, but we were able to go in there and she helped me, and she knew that I was on a time crunch. She knew because they were going to be closed on Thanksgiving, obviously, and they were awesome. And I posted the picture up there, and I just want to tell you that I know the supply chain issues exist. I know that there are a lot of people who are working to get things, and it's just hard to find them. Keep looking, whatever it is. If you're looking for furniture and you want to check out Kloss, KLOSS, give them a try. They're wonderful people. They are locally owned. I appreciate being able to sponsor to talk about and support locally owned people. But it was a whirlwind. We were putting that table together at 2 a.m. on Thanksgiving morning. It felt like Christmas morning.
But that's awesome.
It's a pretty sweet table. And then you realize how excited you are when you're sitting. You're like, I really like this table. It's just a really different part of life than you're used to. Stick around. Scott Pressler, the 2 o'clock hour, and more with you here on the Andy Frey Show.
You ever get a song stuck in your head really bad? I mean, for days at a time? That's what I'm trying to do with you, with Jeff Smith and Country Insurance, except that I don't know how to write music per se. I know how to communicate messages, but not through music. So next time you're in the market for insurance, whether that be a life change, a car change, a house change, whatever that is, Jeff Smith Country Insurance can be the song that's stuck in the back of your head for that moment when that happens. Or you can be proactive and call him right now, because he's been my guy for 25 years. I haven't changed on purpose because he's that good, and Country Insurance is that good to deal with on the back end of a claim. Of course, if you're a first responder or a teacher, you're not going to get a better price either, but the service is top notch and they're local, great to deal with. Type in Jeff Smith Country Insurance right now, or keep it for when you're ready to change insurance. Jeff Smith Country Insurance.
2021 has been an unprecedented year for cyber attacks, ransomware, and business email compromise. Protect your business's people, data, and reputation. Go to cyberevents.com and register now for State of Cyber 2021 at the Hyatt Regency St. Louis. Join senior officials from the FBI, Secret Service, and Homeland Security, along with the area's biggest business leaders, December 1st and 2nd for the State of Cyber 2021 conference presented by Data Connectors. Registration is free, but space is limited. Go to cyberevents.com.
Imagine for a moment an intense storm is pounding your house. Will your roof leak? Will the siding peel away? What about your basement? Will it flood? If your house is properly built and maintained, you should be fine. What about your 401k and your retirement investments? Are you confident your retirement portfolio is built to weather a financial storm? Now may be a great time to get a second opinion on your retirement strategy. Call the team at Heisey Advisory Group at 314-328-6000. They'll stress test your portfolio and show if your investments are in need of weatherproofing. Call 314-328-6000 today and get your no-obligation second opinion. Don't let your retirement get caught in a financial storm. Call 314-328-6000. That's 314-328-6000. Investing involves risk. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Well, you need to warm up, but the temperature's stuck. Call the pros in the big yellow truck. Peace of mind with no hidden fees. Heating and AC with the best guarantee. That says
always on time, or you don't pay a dime. Always on time, or you don't pay a dime. Now with heating and air conditioning.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
Gunfire at a high school in Michigan. Lisa Brady, Fox News. At least 4 people injured in Oxford Township. That's a suburb north of Detroit. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has more live.
Lisa, the Oakland County Sheriff's Department said in a statement they responded to reports of a shooting at Oxford High, and they do have a suspect in custody. The Sheriff's Department says they've also recovered a handgun. 17-year-old Savannah said she's a student at Oxford, and when they heard gunshots, she says they began to hide.
We lock the doors, but there's this closet actually in the classroom. So
was like very safe, and the classroom was like in the back corner.
The Oakland County Sheriff said at least 4 people were injured, but they did not report any fatalities, Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. A California gun rights fight may be headed for the U.S. Supreme Court. Today, a federal court of appeals has overturned 2 lower court judges to uphold the state's ban on high-capacity magazines, ruling that does not violate the Second Amendment. The White House COVID team urging people again to get vaccinated and get boosted as COVID's new Omicron variant is studied around the world. It's now been found in at least 20 countries, more than 200 cases in all. It has not been found in the U.S., but federal health officials say they are actively watching for it.
This virus is unpredictable, and we must remain ready to be proactive as new data, new science, and new variants evolve. One thing has become clear over the last 20 months. We cannot predict the future, but we can be prepared for it. And we have been doing exactly that.
The CDC chief, Dr. Rochelle Walensky, announcing a new surveillance program with ExpressJet at San Francisco, Newark, JFK, and Atlanta airports to help test travelers who might be carrying the variant. The U.S. and dozens of other countries have implemented travel bans on several South African countries. America is listening to Fox News.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AB.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly sunny skies with us as we go through this Tuesday afternoon, closing out the month of November in the 50s. Downtown may just touch 60 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, dropping out of the 50s for evening plans. 35 will do it for the low. Wednesday, partly sunny. Warm it up in the afternoon. 65, warm it up to 70 Thursday afternoon. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Frey Show.
Senator Roy Blunt with us right now.
People don't want to be told what to do and then told, well, you're supposed to do this because it's your own best interest. I think it was C.S. Lewis said the most insidious form of authoritarianism is when the authoritarian power tells you have to do something because it's good for you. If it's good for you, you should be able to decide that yourself.
Yeah. Amen on that.
Weekdays from noon to 3. The Annie Frey Show.
Drafty old windows make your home uncomfortable and really drive up energy bills. The solution? Modern, gorgeous Infinity by Marvin fiberglass windows installed by Lakeside, the exclusive Infinity Windows dealer in St. Louis. Custom fit, energy efficient Infinity by Marvin windows are 8 times stronger than vinyl. They block the cold and keep your home cozy and bright. Request a free windows consultation from Lakeside Renovation and Design at 636-978-5000. That's 636-978-5000. You'll love your home all over again.
The Vitae Foundation, which if you didn't have the opportunity to, I would encourage you to listen to the interview that I did with Nick Johnson at Vitae Foundation at about 12:45. These people are working to save the lives of the unborn by supporting the women who have the right to make a choice. That's the law right now. They can make that choice. If this is something that is near and dear to your heart, like it is mine, I want you to consider going to adsforlife.org and making a donation. And there's no donation that's too small. It's Giving Tuesday. We've talked about Black Friday, Cyber Monday, so on and so forth. Today is Giving Tuesday, and it's an important day that we can all be a part together as a collective to help these women. And it is the word pro-woman is something that Vitae Foundation uses very seriously when they talk about their efforts to try to save the unborn. They care about that woman, and they want to give that woman access to care that will provide her science, information, truth, and help that woman make a decision to save the life of that unborn baby. If you want to be a part of that on this Giving Tuesday, will you please visit their website at adsforlife.org.
The Big Hardy has 2 juicy charbroiled beef patties, melted cheese, and classic sauce. It's what you order from Hardee's when you want a big meal. A big, beefy, melted, cheesy meal. And with 3 juicy charbroiled beef patties, the really big Hardy is what you order when you want a really big meaty meal. A really big charbroiled beefy meal. A really big, beefy, melted, cheesy, juicy, tasty. You get the idea. The Big Hardy and Really Big Hardy at Hardee's. Order ahead at Hardee's.com. Feed your happy. Available for a limited time to participating Hardee's restaurants. Price participation may vary.
At Spire, we're here to keep you and your family safe and warm and keep you informed when your service may be impacted. Right now, the Spire STL pipeline is only allowed to provide natural gas service through December 13th. The loss of this fully operational infrastructure means that gas supply to the region could be limited. But we're hopeful that the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission will act soon to avoid this situation, as they stated in a recent meeting. To get the facts and learn how to conserve energy and be prepared, visit spireenergy.com/critical. Spire Missouri sponsored this message.
Worried about what you're breathing in? With each breath, allergens, germs, and viruses get trapped in your nose. Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com.
The Odyssey app. The Odyssey app. Download it today and stream anytime from anywhere where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. The place for ideas. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by the Loading Dock, with a unique and beautiful ice skating rink to enjoy this time of year. Go to GraftonLoadingDock.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're grateful that you are here. We've had a full show so far today, and we have Scott Pressler coming up in about 15 minutes right here on the Annie Frey Show. So we want you to stick around for that. But at this point in time, we are going to listen in just a second to a press conference that's taking place this afternoon. Unfortunately, we have to report that another school shooting has taken place. A shooter at a Michigan high school was taken into custody today. And we are going to get the details here from the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, who just began just a moment ago delivering this press conference. Brad, let's listen.
Across the street and behind that is the high school, Oxford High School. So with me right now is Tim Throne, the superintendent of Oxford Schools. John Lyman, he's the PIO for all the fire departments that are here. We have Major Curtis Childs from our department. We have Tim Waters, the special aide in charge of the Detroit office, all of Michigan. Major Chris Wondrek over there. So I'll just give you a quick brief, and I'll answer whatever questions I can answer, and we'll ask for comments or anything the chief can fill us in about EMS and all that. Around 12:51 today, we received a 911 call of an active shooter at the high school. Deputies immediately responded, and we received over 100 911 calls into our dispatch center, over 100. The deputies took a suspect into custody within 5 minutes of the original 911 call. They recovered a handgun from the suspect. The suspect fired multiple shots. There's multiple victims. It's unfortunate that I have to report that we have 3 deceased victims right now who are all believed to be students. We have 6 others that were shot. 1 was a school teacher. They're all at local hospitals being treated for various injuries. Again, multiple shots were fired. He did not give us any resistance when he was taken into custody. He's currently being transported back to Pontiac for potential. He's already invoked his right to not speak. So he wants an attorney. He's not telling us anything at this point in time. It's a very tragic situation, obviously. We will brief you again later, maybe around 5 o'clock. We can give you ages of the victims, conditions of the victims, where they live, things of that nature. Behind us in the mire, they've closed the store down for us and helped us with reunification with the parents. We got a lot of upset parents wanting to know what's going on with their kids. There was an orderly evacuation. The school did everything right. Everybody remained in place. They barricaded themselves. And Tim here has done a great job in terms of preparing. You never want to prepare for something like this, but you have to. And the school district's done a wonderful job preparing. All the doors over there are marked at the high school. If you've seen them, deputies responded. They knew where to go. We've had assistance from other police agencies nearby, Lapeer County Sheriff, Oxford Police Department, other local police departments. The response has been overwhelming. We're still doing a secondary and we're doing a third search of the high school just to make sure there's no other victims out there. If there's anything else I missed, I can answer. I will answer, and I'll defer. Tim.
Was this a student?
Yes, it's a 15-year-old student who was a sophomore at the high school.
Has he said before he invoked attorney? Did he say anything about what precipitated this?
I'm not going to get into that.
Okay.
Was there any warning, Mike, ahead of time? Was there any messaging? Did he put out anything?
That's all under investigation at this time. We have literally probably 100 different detectives and support out here right now. We're going to talk to everybody. We're going to go through everything. But at this point in time, I can't tell you that we have that or we don't have that.
Any reason to believe the initial victims were targeted directly, or was it random?
Don't know at this point in time. Still under investigation.
Has notification been made to parents yet, or do parents still not know?
I believe all the parents know, but I can't say that for certain, but I believe they do.
So you're saying 3 deceased, how many injuries?
We have 3 deceased, 6 others that were shot. One of the 6 is a teacher.
One of the witnesses I talked to said she heard shots, it paused, she heard shots again. Do you have any idea how long he was in the school?
He fired multiple shots, I can tell you that. We've recovered multiple shell casings in the school. Somewhere in the area, obviously, with that many people shot, we're thinking, 15 to 20 shots that were fired.
So what kind of weapon was used?
How long was he?
It's a handgun.
How long was he in the school?
It's a semi-automatic handgun. That's all I can tell you at this point.
Did he have more than one magazine?
I'm not going to get in. Obviously, if he fired up multiple shots, more than 15, he'd have more than one magazine, yes.
How was he apprehended?
Deputies took him into custody and responded. I can't tell you the exact circumstances of how that occurred, but deputies confronted him. He had the weapon on him. They took him into custody.
In the school?
Yes, sir.
Was it the child that had the issue last week, a couple weeks ago back with the deer head?
I'm not aware of that, so I can't answer that.
Was this over the course of like 15, 20 minutes? Do we know how long?
5 minutes. The whole thing lasted 5 minutes.
Was it a classroom or a common area?
I'm not sure on that. I'll have to get back to you again. We'll do another briefing later on when we get more details.
Superintendent, but any indication that he was targeting a certain room for these students and the specific teacher?
I can't tell you that because I don't know.
Okay. We told us a lot and we appreciate it.
Okay.
Can we talk to the superintendent for a moment, please?
That's up to Tim.
I really don't have anything. I really don't have anything more to say other than that you certainly can pray for our families here in Oxford and our students. I'm learning information real time just as you all are. So I really don't have any more info to add.
Can you shed any light on who the student is, a 15-year-old?
I can't know.
What's your reaction to this?
Oh, of course, I'm shocked. It's devastating. Superintendent, can you say and spell your name, please, sir?
So we are listening in right now to an Oakland County Sheriff press conference here, and we've heard from the superintendent, who you can pull that on, who they just delivered this press conference saying that there are 3 students who were shot and killed. I think 6 total that were shot and wounded or killed. It's another story. Shooter, as from Fox News, a shooter at a Michigan high school was taken into custody on Tuesday after allegedly shooting and killing at least 3 people who are all believed to be students, according to the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. Oakland County Sheriff's Office deputies were called to Oxford High School at 12:51 p.m. Eastern and able to apprehend the suspect within 5 minutes. It really took that. It was that quick. And I'm going to tell you what, the only thing that stops a man with a gun is a man with a gun, which means that the men with the gun showed up and stopped the situation. They indicated that it was a handgun that was used, that there, I think he said upwards of 15 or more shots that were fired. And we will go through this cycle again. and, start the stopwatch on how long it takes to find out the, race of this person and how that plays into it. Find out how long it takes to figure out how this becomes politically advantageous to anybody on any specific policy issue. And then we'll just do it again down the road. You guys remember the Texas school shooting that took place? How long ago was that? A month, maybe?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly how long ago it was, but it wasn't that long ago.
He was out on bail in a day. In a day. If you're like me, you just don't even know what to say about this anymore. It's so sad. It is so tragic. It is so disturbingly close to home. When I hear these stories, I think about my kids being in a classroom. You probably think about your kids, your grandkids being in a classroom, and it is personal. It is upsetting, and it shouldn't ever become less upsetting because we know how to handle this. I remember vividly, I was a sophomore in high school when Columbine took place, and it was so disturbing to think that something like to have something that was so foreign to my understanding of what could exist in reality. That's what Columbine was then. And it is an occurrence of multiple times a year now. It just happens. And everybody says this doesn't happen in a town like ours. This is such a quiet town. At what point do we I mean, who's entitled to have a quiet town anymore? And we don't really talk about, not publicly at least, we don't talk about what drives these troubled individuals to behave in such a way. We only talk about the gun. This is a handgun that they're talking about. So, if they come in with an AR style weapon or, something like that, the gun's even extra scarier, and it's immediately seized upon by politicians who want to affect some change there. And when it's a handgun, don't think they're not going to do that about handguns now. Did you hear him say semi-automatic? The people who will freak out about that the most will not understand what it means to be semi-automatic. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy every single time. And, the life lost is the biggest tragedy, but somewhere in the top 5 parts of this being a tragedy is the fact that we are not allowed as a society to talk about the individuals who commit these heinous acts and what leads them to do that so that we can prevent it from happening again, because we publicly get so wrapped up in yay guns, boo guns. It's such a juvenile thing to take from this, and it's such easy bait for media outlets to push this out there. We can shift back into the gun conversation. President Biden himself, and I don't even remember which school shooting it was. I think it was in like February. It was really close to when he took office. He said that his predecessors were good at affecting change on gun legislation because they knew timing. President Biden and the Biden administration, they're not talking about gun issues on any random day. They're going to talk about them now. Timing. Never let a good crisis go to waste. We've heard that. They said it. Their words, not mine. Never let a good crisis go to waste. There is a crisis here. It's the fact that we're raising children who think it's okay to go into a building and kill people. I don't care what mechanism they're using to affect this kind of violence. It needs to be stopped. And we need to understand these children, how they're falling through the cracks of the legal system, how they're falling through the cracks of the education system, and what we can do to support them or to detain them, if that's what we need to do. If they can't be helped, they should not be permitted to be among the students who can be killed by them. I know nothing about him other than it's a he and he's 15. I know nothing about him, and it doesn't matter what else there is to know about him. I know what he did, and I know that there are at least 3 people who won't get to see Wednesday because of him. It doesn't matter what his skin color is. If he's white, he didn't do this on behalf of white people. He doesn't get to speak for white people. Same thing if he's black or if he's Latino or if he's Canadian. They're white people, but they're also black people. They're all sorts of people. We have to get to the point where we start looking at who is committing these crimes and going at that and not the inanimate object. I could do a whole hour on the coverage of the Waukesha parade car that drove into people. It's just random car. There's a man in it, but don't worry about the man who is in there. This car, some people did some things. Maybe I guess Ilhan Omar said people. The next thing we're going to hear from her is some planes did some things. It's absolutely moronic. We have to get to the part of this where we realize the human element that exists here, and we have to call it out in the open so that we can stop it from happening again. It can't just be a political fight. It can't. We can't afford it. Not another student, not another parent who's waiting by the phone. I can't even imagine having this happen in my life and staring at my phone and trying to call people to verify that my children were okay. I can't imagine that. I would come inside out. No parent should have to do that. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Scott Pressler is going to join us. He is a grassroots activist. He works super hard to make sure that he's talking to real people about real issues, listening to them, and giving them an alternative to what they're seeing on the mainstream media, what they're hearing in their social media feeds. And he's registering Republicans across the country. Scott Pressler joins us in just a minute. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Oh, come on, girl. Who cares if we're trash? Got a pocket full of cash we can blow.
It wasn't Donald Trump and the fake news claims that led us to this point.
Mark Cox talks lack of trust in the media and being at the conservative end of the radio dial in the latest What the Media podcast. Find it now on Apple Podcasts and the Odyssey app.
It's Mark Reardon for my friends at ThrottleNet, and let's talk about managed network versus cybersecurity. That's ThrottleNet's answer to the never-ending challenges that business owners face waging war against outside attacks, intrusion, and data breaches. If your IT support is not talking about cybersecurity and providing layers of defense, it's time to change. ThrottleNet clients have never paid ransom, and they're prepared for full recovery after being hit with a ransomware attack. And I've got a great offer for you. ThrottleNet is so confident of their superior customer service, they'll give you the first 30 days of service for free. If you decide to leave ThrottleNet in those first 30 days, they'll pay you $1,000 for your trouble. On top of that, they never lock you in to a long-term contract. And how about this for some proof from the business community? ThrottleNet has been awarded Small Business Monthly Best IT Company for 6 years in a row and voted #1 all 6 years. Get started today. Go to throttlenet.com/971. That's throttlenet.com/971.
You want to know what wagertainment is? It's the picks, the analysis, the information, mixed with the laughter and the entertainment. Smart sports betting content that'll put a smile on your face.
The BetQL Network, streaming live each day and helping you bet smarter.
If you're a sports fan, you know why you should listen. It's sports betting content without the BS. No hot takes, no nonsense.
All the insight you need to bet smarter is at BetQL.com. And listen to the BetQL Network, streaming live right now on Odyssey.
This holiday season, check off your shopping list with Cardinals 5 and 10 game ticket packs. These multi-game packs are the best way to secure your seats to all 2022's high-demand games, including Opening Day, Yankees and Cubs weekends, the Yachty and Waino tributes, and more. Give the gift of baseball to all the fans on your list. Ticket packs start at just $59 and are on sale now. Get yours at cardinals.com/holiday.
This holiday season, check off your shopping list with Cardinals Baseball. 2022 all-inclusive tickets start at just $59 and feature a full buffet, complimentary bar, plus a great view of the game. Choose from the Premium Legends Club, the UMB Champions Club, Proficient Red Jacket Club, National Car Rental Club, and more. Give the gift of date nights, the gift of family time, the gift of Cardinals Baseball. Get your single game all-inclusive tickets now at cardinals.com/holiday.
Did you know you can sell any house within just 7 minutes without any fees, commissions, banks, or headaches? ChrisBuysHomesSTL.com is looking to make you a cash offer on your house today, no matter the size or condition. We buy vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, townhouses, condos, and apartment buildings. If you have a house and are just even thinking of selling, visit us at ChrisBuysHomesSTL.com. Leave us your info and we'll reach out to you, ask you some basic questions about your property, and make you a cash offer within just 7 minutes. Remember, when you sell your house to ChrisBuysHomesSTL.com, you get to choose the closing date. To get a free no-obligation cash offer on your house, go online or call us today at 314-782-5000. That number is 314-782-5000. 314-782-5000. That's ChrisBuysHomesSTL.com.
It's here, the Menards Black Friday sale. Hurry in for best selection. Price is good through December 5th. Whether at the job site, the campsite, or at home, get power where you need it with a 4,500-watt generator. On sale for $289.99. Save on a 3-burner flat iron griddle featuring 520 square inches of cooking space. Get it for only $219.99. Check out these and more amazing Black Friday deals at Menards. Available in store only while supplies last.
Save big money at Menards.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
I encourage everyone to wear a mask when they're indoors in a crowded circumstance like we are right now, and unless you're eating or speaking at a microphone. Secondly, the degree of the spread impacts on whether or not there's a need for any travel restriction. But that's not, I don't anticipate that at this point. And we'll see. We'll see where that works.
We'll see. We'll see about more restrictions, lockdowns. It's never going to end, folks. You're going to have to do what they want you to do, or it's never going to end, except for the fact that there are lots of places like me living in the state of Illinois, right across the river here in St. Louis, where we've had a mask mandate since like September or August or something like that. It's been implemented, and there is nothing put into place in sight that suggests that it's going to be repealed, that we're going to be able to have the freedom to go about and do what we want, except the fact that most people in Southern Illinois are doing it anyway, going about their lives because they believe in freedom, they believe in liberty, and they're pushing back. This is happening all across the country. People are looking at their leaderships. There's such a stark difference in red states and blue states right now, bigger than it's ever been in my lifetime. And people are starting to understand that votes really, really have consequences. I know many of you seem very forlorn about the way things are going, and you feel helpless and you feel hopeless about it. But I want to introduce you, if you have not heard Scott on our show before, he's been with us on the Annie Frey Show before. But Scott Pressler is a guy who is on the move. He is a grassroots activist who is really actively making a difference with his own 2 feet. And I'm so excited to welcome back Scott Pressler to the Annie Frey Show. Scott, thank you so much for your time today. It's a pleasure to have you back here.
I wouldn't miss it. Thank you, Annie.
So tell me, and our listeners who may not be familiar with you, at Scott Pressler on Twitter, folks, if you want to know what he's doing, you can check him out there for sure. How did you get into going around the country, registering probably the least suspecting people to become Republicans, and making these one-on-one human connections with your fellow Americans?
Well, first, I want to give a shout out to President Obama because he inspired me to become the community organizer that I am today. Because I turned the finger back at myself. You know, I wasn't really mad at President Obama. I was mad at me. Where was I registering voters? Where was I knocking on doors? Where was I getting out the vote? And the answer was that I hadn't been an active participant in our democratic republic. And that's my encouragement to any of you that are listening right now to this show is I'm an average guy, an ordinary American citizen. I was a dog walker. I was an elementary school worker. And the only thing that made me different was that in our society that so often tells you to say, who will? I dared to say, I will. And I want to give you some encouragement for a second, because today, for the first time in history, Florida has more registered Republicans than Democrats. And you mentioned the state of Illinois. Adam Kinzinger, come 2023, will no longer be a congressman. His behind is ousted. And get this, in the state of New York, the New York voters voted against same-day voter registration in November 2021. And they voted against no excuse mail-in voting. So what I'm trying to tell you is I understand that you may be discouraged. I understand that you may be looking at the world around you wondering, how are we going to turn things right side up? But just know there are moms, there are dads, there are people across the country that feel exactly the same way that you do, and they're taking action. And so I encourage you to also get involved with your local Republican Party. Register your entire family to vote. Vote in primaries to make sure that we have the most conservative constitutionalist candidate. And ultimately in 2022, I'm asking for your vote on November 8th.
That's fantastic. You know, Scott, I'm looking at your Twitter profile right here, and you have on here, make kindness cool again. A lot of people on the left would say that you can't advocate for conservative values, let alone Republican values, and also be somebody who upholds kindness. Are you finding across the country that those things very much so do exist together?
Absolutely. And I think that should be the message, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican or a libertarian or whatever you are, being kind is cool. And, you know, that goes even beyond politics. But you know what I think is cool? I think medical freedom and patient protection is kind, that we are allowing people to keep their jobs, not being forced into retirement for not taking a vaccination. I think parental choice in education is kind and cool, that we are allowing parents, not government, should be able to dictate how to educate their children. I think securing the border is kind and cool, that we are protecting our citizens. And more importantly, we're protecting the people that are trying to come into our country, making sure that they are not sexually assaulted, making sure that they are able to do it in a safe and secure election way. And last, I believe election integrity is kind and cool, making sure that we have safe and secure, fair and free elections, that we know that in our democratic republic, in our constitutional republic, that our vote counts and matters.
Yeah.
That's what I think is kind.
Completely agree with you. At Scott Pressler on Twitter, grassroots activist Scott with us right now. So, you know, what's the down and dirty about how you go about the country and register real people in person to become Republican voters? How does that work?
Well, part of it is education. So like, for example, you know, I post on my social media, hey, if you need to register to vote, I'll literally come to your house, or I'll meet you at a coffee shop, or I'll meet you in an alley. I mean, literally, I will register anyone, anywhere. And so that's what I did yesterday in Maryland. I drove an hour and a half away from my home to Frederick and Hagerstown. And by the end of the day, I helped register 4 voters. 2 of them were new, and 2 of them I switched from non-party affiliation to Republican. Now, why is that so important, Annie? Here's why it's important. If some of you at home are discouraged by the leadership of the Republican Party, I get that. I understand that. But remind yourself that if you switch from Republican to independent, what you're doing is you're taking away your ability in some states to vote in the primary. So then, if you therefore don't vote in a Republican primary, thereby choosing the most conservative constitutional candidate, you are then disallowing yourself to be a part of the very process that you're complaining about. And so I encourage everyone out there, if you are unhappy with the leadership of our country or the Republican Party, then register as a Republican so that way you can choose the most conservative candidate. Also, if you have any questions about voter registrations, I know the laws and rules and regulations for all 50 states. I would be happy to answer your questions. You can slide into my DMs in the most wholesome of manner on Twitter. My Twitter is @ScottPressler. There's only one S in Pressler. And I'm also on Telegram and every other social media platform.
Yeah, and you are very in touch with what the American people are doing. It's so interesting too to see some of the stories and that you have and some of the people who you meet and when you have these events in towns all across the country, the people who show up that have never done anything like that before, never been activists of their own kind in their own municipality. People seem to have a little bit more of a fire, asking themselves the same question that you asked yourself, saying, who's going to fix this? Well, if you've been sitting around waiting and nobody has shown up to do it, maybe it's got to be you.
Yes. Well, and this is such a historic opportunity. Republicans for the first time can own the issue of education, which has historically been Democratic. And look at what we just had happen in Virginia. We won the governorship in the Commonwealth of Virginia because we said parents' lives matter. And we said parental choice in education matters. And that it shouldn't be government. It shouldn't be school boards dictating how to instruct our children. It should be parents. And, this is a hot topic, Annie, but I want to, put a bug in the ear of your listeners of cameras in classrooms. Having choice and accountability and having parents be able to either hear or see instruction during public education. That's an issue that I'm pushing forth and I think would actually empower parents to know more about what's happening within our classrooms.
I was just going to say, to your point, that the education system and what it has become leading into COVID and what it's grown into coming out of COVID, this is a huge opportunity and a huge wake-up call for parents across the country to be involved and to expose and to stand up against some of what is being educated towards our children.
Yes, well, and also not just parents, but workers. This is a historic opportunity for Republicans to stand up not only for working class America, but also for union workers. Think about it. Firefighters, police officers, nurses, doctors, pilots, airline workers, all of these people were doing a job during the pandemic for a year and a half unvaccinated. Why? All of a sudden, after a year and a half of doing the job that they've been doing for decades, must they be forced into retirement? And so this is our opportunity as the Republican Party to say, no, we are going to fight for working class America. We are going to make sure that you are not penalized for not taking a vaccination, and we're going to fight for you and your families.
Yeah, I've seen this so much through your social media, and I encourage people to find you, Scott Pressler, Presler, on your preferred social media platform, that you are showing that this is not the stereotypical grandfather's Republican Party, that this is the freedom. This is the Freedom Party. This is the Liberty Party.
Yes, absolutely. This is liberty. This is freedom. This is choice. That you, not government, should be able to dictate how to run your life. That's it. That's all we want. I don't care what you do in your bedroom. I don't care what you do in your personal life. So long as you are not infringing or abridging the rights of somebody else, you can do whatever the heck you want legally and with consent. That's it.
Scott, you are a trailblazer, and I give you my full support at Scott Pressler, and encouraging my listeners right now to support you, to find you and support you, because you are doing the work that we should all be doing. And I like that you tell us the story of you questioning who's gonna do this, and then realizing you gotta do it yourself. We all have to do that. We all have to follow your lead, and it's a great one. We appreciate you, Scott.
Thank you, Annie. Happy holidays.
Yes, you as well. Happy holidays. Scott Pressler, grassroots activist at Scott Pressler on Twitter. Brad, you were pretty excited when you found out we were having Scott on the show today.
I was. I'd heard him on the show before, but like to get to hear him talk, and such great positive energy is what I really like about him.
Completely. His attitude and his go get 'em mentality is I think it's contagious, which is why we want to uphold it here. So yeah, thanks Scott for coming on with us. It's great to have you here. We're gonna take a quick break, wrap up the show here in a minute. Ryan's on vacation. Had a couple of people ask that. So Ryan's on vacation. He'll be back Thursday, Brad tells me. So don't you worry. I didn't stick him in the basement for days and days. Just till Thursday, folks. Mostly kidding. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Mark, you have 3 Marks in a row.
I do. Mark Walters, Mark Meadows, and Mark Carter. And then
you're-
Mark Cox. The only show with 4 marks today, right here on 971 FM Talk. Then you get Mark Reardon this afternoon.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9.
Stewart's American Mortgage, where you go to get your big loan, or you go to get your financial situation. Maybe it's pretty good, but it can be improved. Have you checked your mortgage rate lately? Oh my goodness, if you haven't, they are low and you need to grab it while the equity in your home is high. If you want to do a cash out refinance, pay down some high interest debt, or maybe do an improvement on your home. You've been spending a lot of time in your home in the last couple years. Maybe there's a spot that you really want to see improved or expanded or renovated. You can do that when you do a cash out refinance with the bagel loan at Stewart's American Mortgage. And the bagel loan costs you nothing to do it. There's no fees. They don't exist. He doesn't roll them into the loan. They don't exist. I've done this twice because rates went down between the 2 times that I did it. So I figured if it doesn't cost me anything, why would I not do it again? Stewie is waiting for your phone call. You can call him or you can text him at 314. I got the wrong stuff over 241. Why am I forgetting? I take 5-6 days off and I forget what I'm doing here. Stewart'sAMC.com. That's the website that you can go to. And I'm pulling this up right now. I can say this number in my sleep. Normally, he's going to kill me. He's going to bust me on this. 314-324-4440. Now I remember it. The one time, were you listening? The one time where I gave out
Yes.
the call-in numbers to the station to call on the show and we'll talk about blah, blah, blah. I gave out Stewie's number. Didn't charge him anything for that. And also had to apologize to him and all the people who are calling up probably wanting to complain about something. 314-324-4440. Bagel loan, cost you nothing. He's the best. This is the worst. Stewart'sAMC.com, NMLS number 226-715.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-826-9895. That's 800-826-9895. 800-826-9895.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit beefy, or even with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Affordable term life insurance is out there. Call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-481-1458. 800-481-1458 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too.
Hi, Sean Long for STL Fenceworks. We're celebrating 50 years in business. In 1971, my parents, Russ and Carolyn Long, started this business. Their vision, offer quality products with next-level service affordably. STL Fenceworks is celebrating this milestone with the STL 50 promo. For a limited time, to qualified customers, we're offering $1,500 off all Wolf maintenance-free decks or custom leisure space projects, and $500 off all vinyl, steel, and aluminum fence projects. Let us build your dream Wolf maintenance-free deck with exquisite black railing and accent lighting. Or imagine a breathtaking leisure room designed and constructed to meet your needs and complementing your lifestyle. Save $1,500. And our maintenance-free fence options equal fun and safety for your pets while you enjoy $500 off. Visit stlfenceworks.com and learn more about our STL 50 promo today. 50 years of meeting and exceeding your expectations. At STL Fenceworks, your satisfaction has been and continues to be our passion.
Southern Armory. Stop in today and see the great gifts we have for the shooter of your life. Southern Armory, 9901 Watson Road, 1 mile east of 270 and 44, and southernarmory.com. That's southernarmory.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon heading up 97.1 FM Talk's Tree of Hope team for the kids at Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, where no child is ever turned away. Your gifts to the Tree of Hope go to fund special programs like music therapy. Board-certified music therapists bring the healing power of music to patients dealing with complex medical issues. Support provides instruments and other things necessary for the program, which is one of many not covered by insurance, but very necessary to a child's recovery. Please join our Tree of Hope 97.1 FM Talk team and give at treeofhope.org/971 FM Talk.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Get your furnace ready for cold weather with a heating system check included with all maintenance plans from Air Comfort Service. Maintenance plans starting at $15 per month. For more details and to get into your comfort zone, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Information to keep you moving. Dependable traffic mornings and afternoons with Sue Thomas. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company. The best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Christmas, everywhere you go, take a look in the 5 and 10, glistening once again with candy canes and silver lanes aglow. It's beginning to look a lot like
So we were talking earlier in the show about Bing Crosby. This is Brett Eldridge. I know you're not a country guy, right?
I've heard of him, though.
That's correct. You're not a country guy.
Not a big country guy.
But you're not angry at country?
No.
Ryan's real weird about it, which is shocking.
No, my music tastes are weird across the board. So.
A little bit of everything. Brett Eldridge, from Illinois, I might add. He is one of us. And he is classically trained and does country. I just think it's listening to him sing like this is fantastic. Because this is, to me, doesn't sound country.
No, this sounds like Frank Sinatra.
Right. I just think it's good. If you are looking for a Christmas album to add to your routine, your cycle that you go through, check out the Brett Eldridge Christmas album. Yes, he's a country singer, but when you listen to it, you're not going to be thinking, oh, I hate country or I love country. He's just very, very talented. This Jim Cramer to me is a cartoon character.
I can see that.
He's not real, is he?
I mean, he's a real person.
I mean, but is he? Like, what is Jim Cramer's deal? He just yells a lot. I mean, just by he talks.
Like, is
yelly.
that just his personality online or on air, or is that like how he is at the dinner table?
Or like the urinal. I have no idea how men are at the urinal. I don't even know what urinal etiquette is.
There's so much.
I'm sure there is. I know that like you're not supposed, if there's like 5, I've seen the memes like urinal etiquette. Which urinal do you go to? And it shows a man here or a man there or whatever. And like you're super. Women don't. I mean, you would skip a stall. Naturally, I think.
Same principle.
Not really, though. Like, it's super weird to think like that I could be visibly, I guess, sitting next to a woman and we're both like knowingly peeing. Like, there's this thing about women that like when a woman goes into a bathroom, I'm serious. When a woman goes into a bathroom, I want to think that men think that's like a mystical place.
It is.
And you have no idea.
No.
It is.
Yeah, I'm sure you've got like flowers and couches in there and stuff.
Yes. And yes, little chocolate candies and chocolate fountains and just lounging, comfortable, relaxing music. That's every women's bathroom, even the ones at the gas stations that you don't even actually sit on the toilet and you get the thigh workout. It is weird to me as a woman. I've been a woman my whole life, female, to think about like knowing that the person sitting next to me, like they're just peeing. But if there's stall doors in the way, it's like the second layer or tier of mystical you don't know what goes on in there.
Mm-hmm.
So you go in the bathroom and you see the doors are shut, or maybe you see feet below, and you just skip a stall and you go to the next one. But I mean, I just think it's weird to me that men just like stand next to each other and knowingly pee. Like, I don't even want to think that other people pee or anything else. Mostly.
I don't even know how to respond to
I
that.
don't know how to. I don't know what you should say.
Like, there are definitely rules, and the rules change with the little dividers. Sometimes there's the little dividers in between the urinals. That changes the rules a little bit.
Sometimes, why not all the time?
Well,
with doors.
Because you just proceed as though that there's... you know what? I don't know why, but we've gotten away...
Is it weird? Can I make it weird for everybody? Can I make all you men now think about it while you're in there? Like,
no,
this is
because
kind of weird.
It's the way it's always been. And like, we've gone to bathrooms where there's just one big long trough.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Women, ladies, listen to me. Can you imagine that? Going in, like, what if there were just what if there was a trough and a bunch of seats and we just sat down next to each other? I'd quit peeing. I would never pee again.
We went on a mission trip to Mexico, and that's the way the restrooms were down there. There was no...
Yeah, first world problems, I suppose.
Yeah.
Now you made me feel bad.
I don't want you to feel bad, but like, it can happen. There are places, and the places that have the troughs are usually like just old buildings.
I assume they're like bars,
racetracks, stuff like that, but not new racetracks.
Man places.
Old racetracks with wooden bleachers and dirt everywhere.
Amy on YouTube says absolutely not. Thank you. You men are not private about things. And women, I mean, ladies who are listening right now, we all know we have that one girlfriend who don't care. And she makes you uncomfortable. And it's like, oh, this is how the other side lives. But you don't do it because it's so uncomfortable. We all have that girlfriend.
Have you ever had anybody touch you while you were going to, like, reach out and, like, because there was a time when, like, yes, some guys think it's okay to have a conversation whenever you're going. No, it's okay to have a conversation in the bathroom, but not when you're going. And this dude would like reach over and just grab you by the shoulder. It's like, no.
Yeah, that's like that girlfriend. No, there's no way. The most that a woman probably ever experiences complete and total lack of privacy, because you just got to do what you got to do. Like, when you are a bride, if you're wearing a dress, you have to pull the dress up so you can pee, and you have your best lady friends around you that day, and sometimes they will help you pee, and that is what it is. And the other times where you may have to help each other, you probably won't remember anyway. But it's just, I don't even remember why I'm talking about this. I'm so distraught over just casually standing next to someone and knowing that they're peeing. Like, when women go into the restroom, I assume that most men aren't like thinking about, like, you think we're going in there. You talked about couches.
Mm-hmm.
We sit down, not on couches.
We always say you're going to powder your nose.
That is a euphemism.
Is it?
I mean, we're not powdering our noses. That's not what we're doing in there. I can't believe this is how I'm ending the show. Why did I even start talking about this? I don't even know. The show got completely derailed, and I did it to myself, and Wiggins isn't even here. He'll be back Thursday.
Yeah.
What did I start talking about?
I don't... Oh, we were talking about not Rob, the Kramer guy from Mad Money. I mean, their personalities are similar,
How
right?
did that turn into toilet talk? Listen,
I remember how. Because I said, I wonder if he's like that around the kitchen table. You're like, I wonder if he's like that in the bathroom.
Yeah, see, I did ruin it. It's my fault. Listen to this. This is crazy.
Lord knows what happened if you didn't partake. But back then, anyone who refused to get vaccinated would get ratted out immediately because we knew that person could hurt other people. The commonweal was a commonweal. Now we're engaged in a similar struggle with COVID, and Eisenhower would be aghast. We have immunocompromised people who are incubators for every variant to come, walking around lawfully unvaccinated? That's psychotic. We have companies that have tried hard to get people vaccinated and now backing down. We have governors who want to be president by grandstanding on a foolish states' right issue, the right to get sick and get other people sick. So it's time to admit that we have to go to war against COVID. Require vaccination universally. Have the military run it. If you don't want to get vaccinated, you better be ready to prove your conscientious objector status in court. And even then, you need to help in the war effort by staying home until we finally beat this thing.
Jim Cramer is the guy who puts his hand on your shoulder while you're peeing. and like wants to talk.
That's
wants nuts.
I feel like he wants to tell you how you're doing it wrong.
Aim a little to the right. No, but just there. Okay, yeah, that's good. Weird. Is that crazy?
He used the phrase lawfully unvaccinated. I can't believe that he said that.
You know what you have to be lawfully unvaccinated? Laws that require you vaccinated. You know how you get that? Congressional process of passing laws, not military enforced mandates. You lunatic. What is your problem? Jim Cramer is a cartoon character. He is a cartoon character who wants to supervise and edit your pee situation. Everyone's gonna see. I hope that all you men go into the bathroom right now and think about how weird it is. Mark on YouTube says, we know we are in there for one thing. It gets awkward if one looks over and down. Well, yeah, I would imagine so. That's why you put doors and walls. See? Walls. Build the wall. See how I brought that home?
Brought it right
home. Right center. All right. The Mark Reardon Show is going to come in here next. So stick around for that. A reminder, you can take us with you outside at noon to 3 right here on 97.1 FM Talk. You can subscribe to the Annie Frey Show podcast on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast from. Just type in the Annie Frey Show podcast in your whatever search engine you use and pick your poison. Also, subscribe to us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We'll be back tomorrow, but Mark Reardon will be in here next.
Control tonight. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
I've known Dr. Ty Parker for long enough now to tell you